Yes, good people. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope you're all doing well. Please do accept whatever suits your time zone. I hope you're eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, overall living the blue life. Today, it's going to be a preview of the upcoming London Derby, Sunday London Derby, Sunday morning for me. I know it's evening, 5 a.m., probably afternoon for the UK, if there's in the UK. Yes, again, it's going to be an interesting one. It's you could say it's one of the biggest game on the ground, probably because it's the London Derby. But that's by the way. Sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, let's get into it right away. I hope you're all doing well. More importantly, I must always remember my brother. I know, again, he will get better. It will take time. Yeah, he's told me. But again, the good thing is that he's in strong spirit. Liam Lane, again, if you're watching or if you're listening, just remember we love you. I'll continue to pray for you. I hope you get better soon. Morning again, always look forward to your streams. A countdown clock will be really helpful. Again, also, yeah, it makes sense. It's usually 10 minutes, but again, a countdown clock on it will make a huge difference. So I work towards that since you've spoken. But thank you very much, Gabriel A, for saying that. A horrific start. Madrid scored 5 goals in less than 70 minutes yesterday. We scored a four this calendar year. Yeah, I get where that is coming from. But that's by the way, I understand your argument. I hope that improves no matter who's in charge. It was a horrific game. Again, a comedy of errors from the goalkeepers. From Thibaut Courtois couldn't control the ball perfectly. I think twice, was it twice from the Liverpool goalkeeper? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a game full of goals. If everyone, here's the thing, I don't know where you come to the conclusions that nobody agrees with you. You write something, I don't have to say, oh, yeah, I agree with you before you know I agree with you. Yeah, most of your comments I agree with. And if I don't, again, it's a debate. And I don't have to agree with everything you say, but I get where you're coming from. If everyone, not everyone, I start doing like, don't make it don't make it you against everyone else. No, if that's not the case, that's why again compare Chelsea to Real Madrid. There you go. Okay, good job. Big up to you two, Regina Naughty. More importantly, I hope you're doing well. Real Madrid will win the Champions League. Okay, let's see that happen. They are capable of winning it, and they have a very good tactician in Carlo Ancelotti, who knows quite well Liverpool, how they play. Actually, I always say this: if you're a good team, it's easy to play against Liverpool. The only thing is just take your chances when you get them. I hope Coachella. I'm not going to read that because I don't see you and I disagreeing all the time. The only thing you do differently, something you can write one time, you break it into 10 different uh, comments there, and then the machine, what's his name, Nightbot will start seeing it as a spam, and he would delete your message. Again, I agree with most of the things you say most of the times. Yeah, Bobby accept. Okay, good to know Bobby accepted that on GFC. Yeah, it's a good thing because you speak the truth, but don't act like everybody is fighting with you. Okay, again, we must follow the Real Madrid way if we want to win a trophies because they will win instead. Here's the thing, it's not up to us. Well, the owners, the new owners especially, you know quite well that they are into numbers and they let the numbers lead the way. A lot of calculations, a lot of preparation going into whatever decision they make, if that makes sense. Vinicius scores again 2 goals from nothing, but Chelsea forward still cannot score. That's concerning. And the pressing, again, Vinicius, what a player he's become over time. And again, you must say it took Madrid patience. They were patient with him. There was a time where Chelsea were also interested in Vinicius, but they didn't want to sell. But that's by the way we're here to talk at Chelsea. It's not again. It's not too much about tactics. They have, yeah, not really. Again, if it was down to the tactics, let's say again they didn't have the players they had on designated incident. I don't think he'd win much, if we're being honest here. So again, it's down to having good players. Yeah, tactics is good, but if you don't have good players to back it up, no matter the manager you have, nothing is going to happen if that makes any sort of sense. So we move on from that one. Let's see the next thing we have here. I want to look at something here. A few things. Starting with this one. This is again the suggestions that Mason Mount has asked for £300,000 a week are wide off the mark. And we've talked about this before. Nobody knows how much he's asking. Everything regarding his the salary, again, the supposed salary that he's demanding, the supposed increment, you could say increment in salary that he's asking the club, are all speculations. There's no way to tell. None of us are there at the table when both camps are talk, the Mason Mount camp and the Chelsea camp, whenever they talk, we're not there. So we just make up stuff because people are waiting for the club to agree a new contract with the player. So it's easy to make up some nonsense and say, here's what we think what's going on. And people will jump and will suck up to it. And yeah, clickbait in most cases. Even though this started by saying whatever, again, whatever I have always said regarding the salary demand, that it's not true. It's wide off the mark. I don't even them using the term wide off the mark to me it just simply means they don't know, yeah, how much again he's asking. Forget. So some will look at it and say, okay, maybe they know how much he's asking, so they've compared that with these and come to the conclusion that it's wide off the mark. But that's not the case. Here's the thing. Even this aspect, there are other things at stake. Again, from image rights to bonuses and the length of contract. As much as it's easy to look at those again, what they just said and said, that may well be the case. Uh, there's a chance that's not the case. They don't know either. There's no way they know. People just make up stuff and run with it. It's as simple as that. And I'm not going to dwell on it too much. Again, to me, the only thing I'd say, as long as, again, he doesn't have much left on his contract at this point, uh, and the longer it takes, and the longer it lingers and he hasn't signed a new contract at the club, the more likely he is to leave. Because the truth is, it becomes clear to him that he gets a sign-on bonus if he joins another club, again as a free agent, that's more money, and it comes in bulk. And I don't think the club will pay him anything close, anything that in totality will amount to something close to what he'd get as a sign-on bonus, if that makes sense. But I really do not want to move on with that Mason Mount argument or debate, however, whatever you want to call it, because it doesn't make any sort of sense. Again, people, if you're watching, if you haven't taken a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Thank you so much again. I know it won't be long, and we will hit 11,000 subscribers right now. We're at 10,136, and that's not easy because it's not been long. We hit 10,000 subscribers, but the likes do go a long way. I want to also take this opportunity to say thank you to those that are watching but are not able to participate in the chat. I want to say thank you to you all. You provide value to the channel. But I want to ask you one more favor at the same time. If you can, if time can allow you, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream, and subscribe. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. So thank you so much, people. I appreciate all the support. Zidane to Chelsea getting louder. Even Hansi Flick to Chelsea getting louder. But I think those are nonsense. But here's the thing: as much as I think those are nonsense, I also let you know the fact. Again, I will equally let you know. Again, I don't know what sort of breaking news is that. What came out late evening yesterday, UK time, saying breaking news: Chelsea have decided not to sack Graham Potter. I read that. I was like, duh, nothing new there. Everything we've been hearing points to the direction that they're not going to sack him anyway. At least he gets to the end of the season. Even I don't actually believe the one that says he has just 3 games to prove that he's the right one for the job. It would take some awful 3 games, again, awful performance in those 3 games for him to lose his job. So the Zenit incident news, it didn't start today. I don't believe it until it happens, because a lot is at stake. Again, I don't know what to say about it. Again, it's more confusion than anything making sense, actually. Liked the video. Sorry, Coach, again, at this point, I am not really interested in discussing what Potter does. What should Chelsea do? to beat Spurs. Yeah, that's where we're at. That's what we're getting into again. But I brought up something that actually I don't know how we got us again into the ground. But the topic, Sack Potter. Again, have a good day, please. Have a good day, brother. I know you're probably on your way to work. Probably 6:22 a.m. in your area. But more importantly, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Again, I've told you that before. Again, there are pictures of players again, and there are the real men. That's the truth. If you want to argue that against this, then would be a mistake. So let's stop talking about the managers right now. I'll get at least one more comment, but please let's stop talking about the manager. We'll talk about again the Chelsea, the upcoming London derby, a very important one. It's a big game, except that most of the players we have, again, the current players we have, probably can. I know Noni Madueke knows, Connie Chukwuemeka knows, but I don't think some of the new players understand the magnitude of that game, if that makes sense. So beyond this coming, please, let's talk about, I want to ask you the question, again, do you think Chelsea can win that game against Spurs on Sunday? These players, again, these players don't need a shrink. Yeah, I would argue that they need to do some free kick, some free skydiving, shock diving, anything relied to red blood activities to get the man out of them. Wow, that is some that is some extreme talk. Here's a question I have for you right now, and the question is: Do you think that Chelsea can break again, beat Graham Potter, can beat Tottenham on Sunday? It's a London derby. It's one of the biggest London rivalries. So you let me know what you think. Do you think Chelsea can beat them, beat Tottenham? Whatever you whatever you think will happen, you let me know why you think so. First time again in my life, I'm scary of Tottenham. Oh, to be honest. But tell me why. But again, Eugene, I know you're very honest person. I know you can be very objective. I want to hear from you. Do you think we can win that game? If you think yes, you let me know why. If you think we're not going to be able to win that game, you let me know why you think so. So we can talk about it. We can have a good conversation about that. Good morning, my Chelsea family. I hope all is well. I do hope all is well with you too, brother. Again, the question is, do you think we can beat Tottenham? I really want to know. I want to hear that from you. Again, Chadwick Banks, my Jamaican brother, big up to you. Pop, 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 heights and blessings. Just imagine that we scored less goals this calendar year than Real Madrid, than a lot of teams. I think we scored less than Brighton overall. But some will still bring up the argument. We know who could Brighton. But well, beyond that right now, the question is, do you think we can beat Tottenham? If yes, why? If no, let me know why. Any other topic, I'm not going to read. Big up to you, my brother Bobby. Says, smash the like button, people, and support the channel. Yes, let's keep going. We have 25 likes already, and we're 25 minutes into the show. That measures, but we can do more than the number of likes we have. Let's get it to a 50 to 100 likes as soon as possible. We will lose our next 3 games. As some of the players don't want to play for Porter. As much as I think they don't want to play for Porter, I don't think it can. As much as I'm starting to believe that it doesn't sound like they trust the manager. At least that's what I feel like. I don't think they play so bad that we'll lose the next 3 games. But we'll see. We'll hopefully can join you for a short while soon. Okay, brother. Whenever time allows, it's not an obligation. Recent form, lack of potency in attack, and toxicity of the pitch. The aspect you say toxicity of the pitch, again, you sure of that? Why are people talking about that like something serious is going on beyond the pitch that's causing us again to be playing badly? Toxicity of the pitch with loss of faith in Porter can only lead to no objective evidence. We will beat Spurs. Okay, we won't. Okay, with that we will beat Spurs. Okay, again, it's a joke I had. Okay, yes, Chelsea will win a next game away from home. King Mo, and King So both in the house. Big up to you, King Mo. I haven't seen you in a while. And plus again, Rafael Botko, I haven't seen you in a while. I want to know how you guys are doing. I hope you're both doing well. Honestly, again, until we pick up the form, I could care less about any Chelsea game. So with that, again, Spurs 2-0 win. Wow. It's good to know, to see your opinions there. To be honest, I don't think we can win at Spurs. We are in shambles. Our confidence is very low. Whew. Okay. Maybe I need to bring Georgia in for this one, but I'm going to start in with a question, something I picked up from what Gabriel A says. Again, no, I mean, we won't beat Spurs. Again, how can we think rationally we will? Yeah, I get it's difficult to think we will, but I get where you're coming from. Roger, big up to you, brother. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well.
Hola, senor. I'm well. How are you, sir?
I can't complain. I can't complain. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Roger, let me start you right away. Your thought, this aspect of this comment on the screen that says lack of faith and Porter. Do you think, are you seeing anything again, that makes you feel like it looks like the players don't trust him that much? Or maybe they don't trust him, however you see it.
Actually, so lack of form, definitely. The
Okay,
toxicity.
you want to talk about the whole comment. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with the lack of form. That's obvious. That's undeniable.
Mhm.
Toxicity, not at all, because I don't see. I don't see. Well, with the exception of Ziyech quitting, so this is before, I believe it was the transfer window. If you remember, he's the only chap that I can recall that his body language has been poor. But I think that's based on an individual aspect because he wasn't transferred or he wanted out of there before the transfer window, if you recall.
Which is natural.
Yes, yes, yes. Wholesale wise, no, I haven't seen that. And I think most analysts have actually said that he has not lost the locker room. But they have said that if the fan base does start to turn on them and start booing them, this will diminish their confidence, and that has a knock-on effect. So a lot of former players have said that's what they feel when they're being booed. So, but actually, the toxicity, no. A lot of the analysts have actually
Can you
said
say that with certainty?
no, of course not. Unless a player comes out and says, but these are analysts that are professionals that have played the game before and are reading the body language, and they say that that isn't the case. When I say they, we're talking about quite a few people from ESPN. Like Frank LeBoeuf, for instance. You're looking at
A
even the
Chelsea man, right?
yeah, but even the former Liverpool chap, I forgot his name. He was the last defensive player to win Premier League Player of the Year. Um,
But sometimes can be so again. It can be
yeah,
trashing Chelsea. In most
no,
cases, it
no,
trashes
yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah, he does. He
Gallagher,
no, not Gallagher.
Is it Jamie Gallagher?
No, no, no. This is the guy on ESPN. I've
I don't remember
forgotten.
his name. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's Scottish. But anyway, he's the chap that actually states that he doesn't see any body language to that effect. So this is what I'm saying. Even non-Chelsea former players that really they can be quite, shall we say, harsh on us because they have not agendas, but they have a bias, shall we say, and they aren't stating that either. And I'll be honest with you, I don't see it either. And I watch every game.
And I believe you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe you. Do you
yeah,
still
and I
need to
I
see the
watch.
comment to complete?
I appreciate your content here, quality content.
No, no, no. Do you still not this one? Do you still need the comment you were
Oh no,
responding
no,
to?
no, no.
Okay.
So I don't see the now define toxicity. Is that are they talking about off the pitch or in what sense?
Yeah,
It's
I think it makes sense to be again. It's specific when you say toxicity. It makes sense
yeah,
to say again from what direction and look at how it's going and all of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't see it. I certainly don't believe he's lost the locker room. Not yet. Apart from that
Hmm.
Ziyech incident, and that's related. Yeah, no, it wasn't Craig Burley. It was the other chap. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Steve something, I think it is.
Hmm.
So, but
Again, yeah. Go ahead.
I don't see it. I know Lukaku is a toxic issue, but he's not with the team. Um, and I understand Pierre-Emerick is an issue. I get that, but I don't believe that there is any knock-on effect with
Choma is
regards.
saying, is it Greg Borley? Greg Borley
No, no,
or
Craig. No, it's not Craig Bailey. It's the chap that
I know
sits next
Greg
to him.
Borley. The other
Steve
Stevie
Steve
Clarkson, I
something.
don't know. Yeah. Go ahead.
Steve Nichols, that's the guy. Thank
Okay,
you,
Steve
Gabriel.
Nichols. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
somebody's following sports very well.
Yeah, and so Steve Nicol, who usually trashes Chelsea, even has bigged us up in that regard. But you know
But in
what?
most cases, those chaps are actually, in most cases, they are objective. If it was Gallagher, I would say I never think he's objective.
Oh no, he
one bit.
hates
Yeah, go
us.
ahead.
Yeah, he bloody hates us. But so I don't know about you, but I watch all our games. I would say at least twice. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what happens when you're recovering from surgery and you've got plenty of time. But and I'll be honest with you, I look at quite a few players and I don't see that.
All right.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's the case?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, no,
But
it is.
one thing I can say that, again, at least that's me.
Sure.
I wouldn't say it's for certain. Maybe let me just say, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, I think this they don't trust the manager that much.
Okay. Do you
Yeah,
know there's
that's
one
what I'm,
player?
and that's not toxicity. Not trusting. That's a different again
Yeah,
angle altogether to the whole
I get
thing.
you.
Yeah, and
There
that's
is,
just me. Like
yeah,
I
no,
said.
no, I get it. I get it. There is one player I'm concerned with, and that's Mudryk. Um, with the exception of his debut against Liverpool in Anfield, I've seen him for the most part. He hasn't. He's taken a few steps back, in my opinion. He looks confused. I don't know. That's
And
one
that could be
person.
down to the whole team underperforming.
Yeah, sure. No. You're right. There could be a myriad of different reasons. You're right.
Uh-huh.
Um, uh, sometimes it takes time to integrate, but and perhaps a new system for him. But this is the one player that his body language can be a bit, shall we say, negative. Not to the level of Ziyech, but that's one player that I've noticed does actually have somewhat negative language,
Hmm.
body language, and he certainly. It's early days, so I'm being a bit
All right.
critical on him.
Let's not go again because if we talk about it too much, more people in the chat will go that direction, and then we're not going to review the match.
Yeah, I
I don't
got
know.
you. Oh, we're
Yeah. So
reviewing the match. Okay, yeah.
we're reviewing the match again, but that again the elephant we have multiple events again elephants in the room, so
Of
it's
course.
usually difficult to go. If we were winning games and we get to this one, I know we'll go straight to the topic, but because we're underperforming, a lot of stuff
Sure.
again do come up if that makes sense. Again, I appreciate again your content again here again quality content. Where you're from, big man? Again, I was born and bred in Nigeria, but now, again, I live in the United States. I've lived in the United States for nearly 12, 13 years right now. Yeah, I think more than that, actually. But I've not been counted, if that makes sense. Yeah, but that's, by the way, we'll move on. But thank you so much, more importantly, you two. If you can beat someone now, again, it is Tottenham. Maybe you just, again, coming from the aspect
Tottenham
of
who?
a rivalry, not really because of you're not looking at the current form of again both teams. With the right selection and in-game tactical changes, we could win. But with the conspiracy theories of board interference with Porter's job, we will lose without scoring. Again, if you're really paying attention again to what's been going on, if you believe them, then you can say they amount to they're actually reflecting that they are interfering with the man's job, if that makes sense. But Bailey, more importantly, I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. Please do let me know all is okay with you. It's obvious Porter couldn't man up again to make some decisions that cost us. Well, again, some statement right there. Again, no going. Lots of selfish players. Again, all last year also under Thomas Tuchel. To clarify again, I mean toxicity from press. Oh, okay, there
Oh,
you go. That was why
okay.
again. That's you see why we asked to be specific, and a good thing Roger said it that way again because some people would have taken that and run with it, but we asked that you be specific so that again we understand where you're coming from, so it makes sense now. But again,
I think
yeah,
the younger players,
the
coach,
press they've been toxic. But again,
coach,
yeah,
I think this, and Bobby, hello, Bobby, by the way. I think Bobby will concur with me on this. I think a lot of the younger players are on social media and they read the press. I think a lot of the veterans, especially people like Silva, I don't think that really affects him. But perhaps
maybe his wife.
yeah, yeah, I forgot. Checkmate. But I've seen interviews from different players over the years. Some say that they never look at the press. In fact, they don't have a social media. They don't even read the back pages. And there are some players that have said, yeah, they read it. but only when they win, because they know it's so toxic when they lose. So, but that's not the younger generation. That's from like 10, 20 years ago. I have no idea what like all these 18 to 25-year-olds are thinking. I have no idea.
All right, let me catch up with Chad. I want to bring in Bobby in with that, starting with that question. To clarify again, yeah, looking again, fines ETZ, it must affect the players, the younger players, but the seasoned players, the old guards, I don't think it will. If any old guard is being affected by what's been said in the media, they shouldn't be playing football right now. They should quit, or maybe they should probably right now wouldn't be alive because a lot of nonsense has been said about them. What class of players has a good character? Also, yeah, again, Chelsea are now what?
Oh,
I'm gonna skip that one.
yeah.
I'm not gonna
Well
read
done,
that one.
sir.
Greg Abali, again, some of the names being mentioned.
Yeah.
Let's again. Good morning, Kachila and panel, and everyone in the chat. Again, good morning to you too, Chama. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Zinedine Zidane, I come next. A Chelsea manager. It's not going to happen, and it's not what I want to happen. But and I don't think it happened. It ended up being Steve. Steve? What did you call him?
Nichols.
Steve Nichols, the name you were looking
yeah.
for. Steve Nichols, yeah, thank you again. Big up Cuchilla Santiago Munoz, big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. Amaria Fisher, I hope you're doing well. I'm again not really interested with what you're saying there because I want to move on from that. Maybe toxicity was the wrong word, but again, you spoke the correct word. But again, it could be the toxicity from what perspective, and you specifically say from the media, yeah, from the fan base, yeah, it's dangerous. CFC is in bad moments, so again, I don't expect them to win tomorrow or anytime soon. So the question is, do you think Chelsea can beat Spurs? Whatever you think. Again, if you say yes, why? If you say no, let us know why you think what you're saying. Again, Ziyech is the only one with real. Okay.
Cajones.
Some of the players have said again to Bali, don't know again where Potter is taking us. Really, I want you to elaborate
What's your
again.
source?
And yeah, again, your source. Again, we want to know. Again, it's interesting, really. Pulisic, Ziyech, Aspilicueta, Aubameyang, Lukaku, Havertz, again, with buy players. That's not what we're talking about right now.
With
The
bad
question is,
character,
do you
Aspilicueta
think?
doesn't have a bad character.
Sorry.
Aspilicueta doesn't have a bad character.
No, he doesn't. I don't even need to address that because the question is, do you think Chelsea will beat Spurs on Sunday? It's a London derby. If you say yes, if you say no, let us know why you chose again your answer. Big up Kachila Panel and chat Chelsea all the way. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know that you're doing well. Again, I'm doing well. Thank you, Coach. Again, nice to hear. Very good to hear that you're doing well, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If we couldn't even beat Southampton, how are we going to beat Tottenham on Sunday? I'm not so confident again, and so are the players. You have to just speak for yourself. Maybe you feel like the players aren't confident. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it. Again, I take that one. But if you can, no, you have to speak for yourself. If you're not confident, I can understand. If you're not confident, I can understand. Again, I am doing great. Okay, I've responded to that. Okay, nice to hear, brother. Again, hopefully, again, Chelsea gets relegated again, unlike Arsenal, who has never been relegated. I don't think you're a Chelsea fan, and
No.
if I see such comments again, I'm going to ban you. Really, again, Kachila, again, you can be a good coach again from your name. Well, I'm not going to get into that talk. Maybe some other day. Again, maybe if I do a get to know me show again, Chelsea all the way. Yep, again, your name shows. Maybe you can make a good coach too, but it's the name doesn't really show whether one can make a good coach or not. But I get where you're coming from. Big up family, please again very important. The likes do go a long way. What 39 likes right now? Let's get it to 50, 100, and even more by the time the show ends. I'm gonna go to Bobby straight away. Bobby, big up to you. I hope you're doing well. It looks like it's gonna be a short stay for you today. But again, the good thing is that I know you've gotten better, and apologies that I haven't asked you for a while how you're doing. You went in for an emergency surgery, but I'm guessing you've been better. That's why we've had you on the panel and multiple other places because you like talking Chelsea. I don't know if you get sleep at all, but that's by the way. The question I want to ask you: do you think we can beat Sports on Sunday? If yes, why? Why do you think we can? If you don't think we can, why do you think we cannot?
Hello, Bobby.
Yeah, pick up, guys. Roger, I yeah, thank you, coach. I'm much better.
Good.
Yeah, the reason why I jump onto other streams is I work 24/7, number one, and sometimes
You're so
that's how
lazy.
I
You
get.
cope.
Yeah, it's a very
But
very
more
very
importantly, the blue bug, but Bobby, the blue bug feature scenes. So yeah, it's anything Chelsea attracts you.
absolutely.
I'm
Oh
like
gosh,
that
yeah,
too. I go everywhere. If I'm
um,
not tired, I jump onto the final. Go ahead, Bobby.
considering what I do for a living, it's such a polarity from it and how serious I have to be. I think a lot of people probably wouldn't be able to correlate the two. Not that I care.
Bobby, you
Chelsea
in
is
the
my
medical
love. It's my
field?
passion. It's my well. I do a lot of security.
Oh, okay.
Um, Chelsea is my love. It's my passion, and I'm not out to impress anyone. I'm just here to have a good time.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, about Sunday. Look, Sunday is all about Graham Potter, as far as I'm concerned. He
Wow.
has to win over the fans. Yes, we know what it means to us as a club, but we can't even sit to predict what's going to happen because if his past performances with the team is anything to go by, we shouldn't even bother watching the game. So it's all about him. I think I've had various sort of mixed messages about him. People are saying that the ownership want to judge him over years. I get that. I can understand that. They gave him a 5-year contract. However, where I do beg to differ with that is that he's got to start winning games. They won't judge him if he's not winning games. They will execute him, as it were, just get rid of him because he's got to win games. That's what this is all about. Spurs, they are a very good side. London Derby, they're going to be up for it. I mean, what better place for him to start to win over Chelsea fans than to do a number on Spurs? I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's all down to him. I heard something about Modric. Look, I'm not even gonna start judging or talking about people like Modric, Madueke, even to a certain extent Enzo, till probably this time next year, and certainly
Mm,
for people like Modric, and so maybe even a bit beyond. He's just too young. I
yeah.
remember when Hazard came. Hazard took a while to be the player he was when he left. And in fact, he never was that player until he was that player. When he first came, he
That's a
wasn't
new
that
one.
great.
That's a new one, Bobby. He was never that player until he was that player. Okay.
Well,
You go ahead.
exactly. I'm trying. What I'm trying to say is that
No, but I
he,
get your point. It was just funny the way you phrased it. Go ahead.
yeah, and when he started, roughly around Modric's age, he was really quite fledgling. You could see the talent, but it was developing, and I don't expect anything more from Modric. What upsets me is that the club have put themselves in a position where they are looking to him to start to carry the team in any way he can. Now, there's good and bad in that. The bad in it is that his age and it's not fair responsibility. The good in it is that sometimes responsibility brings out the best in you, and you learn to be that person that we are looking for you to be. So nothing's lost. What I'm looking for here is for the squad or the team to function. Defensively, we've improved, but I want to see more of it. I want us to show that we are extremely difficult to score against, and what better way of doing that than having a strong defensive performance against the people like Song and Kane, to say the
Yeah, yeah.
least. There are lots of very dangerous players in Spurs. And I want us to show that we are more than capable of scoring not just one goal, but several goals. Um, we can beat them. Why not? You
Okay.
do your homework well, and you win. We're not some shoddy, ill-equipped, incapable side. We are a very, very high quality team. And a lot of our injuries are coming back now. So that's why I say it's all down to the manager. It really is. As for social media, there's a lot of dross on social media. We all know this. As far as the club is concerned, I know what I do with my companies and things, and that's partly why I can't really, um, uh, I have to go with an avatar for now. Is that we have a lot of social media training and train staff how to handle it and what to do on it. I must so say sometimes I sail close to the wind because of my love for Chelsea. When I get emotional, perhaps I should be more contained, but that's what football does to you.
Not
But
at all. No, don't
um,
change.
well,
You
I'm
can.
just
He
saying
can't.
this is, yeah, this is it. I can't help myself. When you love your club, you are very emotional is what it's about. However, having said that, part of the social media training we have is in ignoring stuff, ignoring the nonsense and
Mm.
trying to stay out of it. And I'm very, very, very sure in a celebrity based industry like football players are in, especially for a club like Chelsea, they'll be very, very versed about social media and probably use it less than we think they do.
What
They
about the press?
probably, sorry?
What about the press?
The press, well, we know what they're about. They're sharks. A lot of them are not Chelsea fans. A lot of them
Mm.
are part of the Chelsea envy. A lot of them try to do Chelsea down. A lot of them try to sow seeds of negativity into the fan base, possibly if they can into the club. We know this. I think Chelsea fans have been on this journey now far too long to be fooled by this garbage. I mean, look at the nonsense they did yesterday. Oh, Pochettino refused to come to Chelsea. What BS! Absolute nonsense. The geezer
So
would
if he
bite
gets
your
a
hand off.
chance again, he will jump on it straight up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It
Chelsea's
was
not.
so nonsense. Yeah.
Hang on.
Do you think the players pay attention to the press?
Unfortunately, we're all human, aren't we? There will be some things that they will listen to, but a lot of it they'll be advised against. And Chelsea have their media people. They're people. That's why I keep telling these guys. I know you guys make fun of me when I say, hey, you never know who's watching. There are people out there that have their eyes
Indeed.
on things that you will never believe, and it's all part of the um, media security,
PR.
cyber security, all these things. They're everywhere, and every club has them. Even the press is infiltrated with club people. We kind of have Matt Law, although I wonder what fence he sits on sometimes. But I
Mm.
know Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal are experts at media.
Public
Just look at Sky
relations.
Sports. Yeah, Sky Sports is full of them. They even come out and tell you they're Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
So the club will have their finger to the pulse, and anything that they think can affect or contaminate the players, especially if it's about the players, they will pull them aside and talk to them and their families if necessary. I reiterate, we should not change. We should be who we are, but we have a bit of a responsibility for the club as Chelsea fans to try and seize some sort of control of the narrative, because I can assure you, if we don't do it, the opposition will do it. And if we allow the opposition to seize the narrative, they attack the club. And the club is watching. If you think the club isn't watching every detail,
All right.
you're misguided, really.
All right. Let me catch up with the chat again. If you're watching, thank you for 45 likes. If you haven't, again, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, the likes do go a long way. I've read that one. This one here from Samuel says, no, Chelsea cannot beat Spurs at the moment because we beat them several times in history of late. Again, the recent results hasn't gone their way. We didn't lose a single game to them again under Thomas Tuchel. So the only moment that they are looking for revenge is now. Okay, let's see what happens. So tomorrow, I'll remind you. I won't now forget you said that. With resources we have on ground, we should beat Spurs. We should beat Tottenham, but we need a special mentality. But Potter, okay, now I think it's going to be 3-1 victory, 3-1 in favor of Spurs. Okay, I will never forget that. Being a Chelsea fan, again, is the most depressing thing right now. If you really, again, do care about the club, a lot of stuff, again, will really,
It's
does break the heart.
frustrating.
Yeah, frustrating, again, is the right word. Again, how many matches now we will say again, next match is the most, it's the must win. And again, at the end of the day, we lose or draw. I cannot see Chelsea winning. And maybe that's when we win. But let's see what happens in modern football today. Again, 22-year-old is not young. Like you mean, again, it cannot be. Again, a defeat to Spurs on Sunday might make a Potter, Potter's position untenable. I'm going to highlight this. I want to ask you something quickly about that one, Roger. Again, before we move on to anything else, did I highlight it? I wanted to highlight it. Okay, there you go. It's highlighted now. Is he a preacher or a motivational speaker? You mean Bobby? I don't know. Again, one to
Both.
again.
Both,
Again,
coach.
this is sorry.
Both.
Okay. I know I can't read what you wrote. Again, I know probably you mean well, but big up to you. Thank you for finding the time to join the channel. And if you're watching, if you haven't taken a second, and probably because I do share the link to the streams on an Indonesian Facebook page. But I appreciate that. If you're watching, if you haven't taken a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Right now, we're not talking about the Champions League right now. If that makes sense to you, if I were the owners, I would try to bring back Ancelotti. He knows how to work with young stars alongside experienced players. He is a winner. He's a winner person, and he has experience of the Premier League. And he did well in the Premier League. And one thing you mentioned that I have always known that he cherishes experienced players quite a lot. You can argue how long Pirlo played on. Was that Pirlo? I think Pirlo played for a long time under him. I think so. I don't. Andre Pirlo and all this again. But the thing is, I didn't really pay attention. The truth is, I think he works well. He knows how to balance a squad. Again, a mix of experience and youth. I think he's good at that. But I don't think we're looking at him. Yes, again, Ancelotti knows again, but they buy players also. Don't forget. So we've been buying groceries and not players. You tell me. Be back in a second. Okay, take all the time you need. Again, Enzo is only player who was first target for Chelsea. Every other player is not even. When we want Haaland, but we're not talking about Haaland right now. But I get your argument. Well said, Bobby. Smoky signals. Yes, Ancelotti knows again. But they buy better players. Yeah, that's a better way to phrase it. Then I can listen to your argument. Roger, quickly with this one here. And Mikhail, I didn't know you're still watching, brother. I thought you'd be already at work right now. Do you think again defeat to Spurs on Sunday might make a Porter's position untenable? Just a quick response from you. That's he's quoting absolute shells. Do you think that will be the case?
Well, it depends. It depends on two factors.
Or the magnitude of the loss.
Yeah, exactly, and the style. Like, for instance, if the team capitulates, gives up, and you can tell their body language just drops, their hands are on their on their hips and so forth, and we lose 7-0 hypothetically. Even that I don't think will make it unattainable, but it's possible. I mean, if we're hammered, really hammered.
Okay, are we saying this from what perspective? From Potter's perspective, or let's say from the owner's perspective?
Oh, from the owners. I'm talking about.
Because from Potter's perspective, I'd say most certainly if we lose, it's not going to good. I don't think it'd be good for his confidence and the confidence of the players either. It will be added pressure. But go ahead. You're saying from the perspective of the owners, right? It doesn't change anything.
No, I don't think it will, to be honest with you. I mean, as I said, facetiously, days ago, weeks ago. If he starts losing 10-0 every game for like 10 games in a row, then yeah, he's gone. Obviously
It
that's not
has to 10-0, 10 games in a row.
yeah, I'm being sarcastic,
No,
I'm
but
just
yeah,
saying.
but
But
tone
if
it
he
down. You're scaring the
yeah,
heck out of me.
well, I didn't say 100-0, but honestly, if he loses 3, 4, 5-0 each and every game,
Uh-huh.
realistically, okay, that's being realistic for let's say 5 to 7 games in a row, then his job could be potentially unattainable. He would have lost the locker room by then. But if you notice, each loss that we've been playing for the most part has been very close. I'm talking about Premier League, and and the body language and the team has not presented a case that they have given up. So no, I think he's here for the long term. I really do. You didn't ask me, do I think we could win, lose, or draw?
Okay,
I
go for it.
I think realistically that you know
And you know it was intentional, right?
no, but okay. But I think when you play a top six club, away, you want to come away with a minimum a draw. So you play more pragmatically. Look at Mourinho, who would park the bus. We're not obviously going to do that. I'm more interested in, does he make it 5 starts in a row playing that delicious formation of 4-2-3-1, as you would say? And if he does, then that means this is going to be the DNA for him because he simplified things with the influx of new players. I think we can come away with a draw.
How? How do you think we can achieve that?
By tightening up. When you have Silva back, when you have Badiachile with Silva, that he looks a different player with Silva. Badiachile, sorry, and then you have Reece back. I think that bodes well. I think we're the only time we've really conceded games in the last 5 games is because of errors that are just like the influx of new players like Madueke not following back, Reese not, ball watching, other than that, and then you have Modric, allowing the player to cross the ball. So other than that, they tighten that up. The goalkeeper's in good form, coach. Kepa, he's playing top form. He's made some good saves. He really has. And that was a world-class free kick. And to be honest with you, from a goalkeeper's perspective, Badiashile should never have dropped his forehead like that. You don't drop your chin. You rise up. And I know that ball's going fast. I get it, but that should have never been conceded. From the Wolves' perspective, I'm talking about from a goalkeeper, and I'm being biased here, obviously, but I think this keeper is playing the best, at least in his Chelsea tenure in his career so far.
So you think, given Kepa's form and that Thiago Silva coming back, but those
yeah,
are you're talking about the defense alone.
yeah, no, and then
And sports will be a different animal in terms of, again, more pace, again, pace on both flanks.
yeah, and also don't forget hopefully the midfield can protect the defense. Also, be, shall we say, more pragmatic in that regard. I mean, I really do like Enzo, what he's brought to the table so far. Small sampling size, I get it, but he's made a difference. Wouldn't you say so? He's an upgrade from his predecessor. I think that's a fair assessment in many regards.
All right.
But yeah,
I'll come to my. Yeah, go ahead.
but the only thing that worries me is, can we be clinical? And so far, we have not shown that as of yet. Let's be honest, at least in a consistent basis. I don't believe we scored multiple games in a game since November, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So that doesn't bode well.
I think in totality, this you're talking about goals were scored
Yeah, like
in,
when's the last
in
time we?
2023. I don't think we scored up to 5 goals. I don't remember the
Yeah, but I'm talking
statistic.
about in a single match, we haven't scored more than 1 goal
Oh yeah,
since I
yeah,
believe
yeah. So
November.
yeah, but that's, by the way. I'll bring Eddie in a bit. And Glenn just ruined the news for me. But we'll talk about that in a bit. I wanted to do a breaking news with that, but much love to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. KF says again, should we follow United model and sign a specialist coach like Benny McCarthy to improve my South African brother what a footballer he was, even in his days at Ajax and all that. I think he played for Ajax. Yep, I think so. To improve our attacking players, uh, maybe we should sign specialists for every department, defensive specialists, again, attacking specialists. Maybe it will work. I don't know. But again, maybe they need to give it a shot because it's become a problem. Roger, again, what if we lose 1-0 the next 5 games? It's still bad.
Yeah, it's
I
still
don't
bad,
think it's
but
still
it's
look good.
not
It doesn't.
unattainable though. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
it
again,
depends.
if the case is we played well and we lost, we played well and the players didn't just put away our chances, he still keeps his job. I think
Oh, for
so.
sure.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
sometimes even as though even though the owners understand that, the owners might think again maybe changing things may bring us a better luck because again I know everyone, even those that don't believe in higher power, believe in luck. I don't know if that makes sense.
sure.
Um, yeah, but that's by the way. This again, I need again an article about a clause on Porter's contract. That's how Porter can be again sacked without that how Porter talks about how Porter can be sacked without implications of payment of huge
Yeah.
amount of money. Good luck finding one. That is more like showing you his social security number. If that it doesn't, if I don't think you'd see anything that show you the full details of his contract.
And what's the
Um,
credibility of the source?
yeah, exactly. Roger, again, Chelsea never go to Spurs to draw, only win. Yeah,
Preach,
we'll
Bobby,
do.
preach.
Yeah, no, he's telling you.
Yeah, I know.
The New York guy, Kashana, big up to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And the Undertaker CFC says if we don't win Sunday, Potter will be gone after the Dortmund game. Why wait till the Dortmund game? Yeah, so I want to know why does he have to wait till if they want to sack him after that game? Why wait till the Dortmund game?
Yeah.
If they feel like it's the problem, they don't have to wait till the Dortmund game. If that makes sense. Again, Martin CEO, big up everyone, big up to you, Martin and Kishonda, New York, the Undertaker CFC. I hope you guys are all doing well. Please do let us know. Nick Blue used to be again on here a lot. Again, is he heading to what? SB this evening for the protest. He said, "Oh, Stamford Bridge for the protest." I am curious again how many will attend. I don't think it will draw again a huge crowd right now. I think it will be like the first protest against the rickets. I think it wasn't that big. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was understanding again. But yeah, the protest to do what? To fire Graham Potter? I don't think it would draw much crowd because those probably can the only a few of the you could say the sections that want Potter to stay are British citizens and those probably those living close to the stadium. And I don't think he'd get too many people to join. We are on 31 points, so regardless of how well we play, if we lose the next 5 matches, yeah, the numbers keep going up. No, I think it reduces because Roger says 10 matches. If we lose the next 5 matches 1-0 or any scoreline, we will be in a relegation scrap, so to speak. But I get your argument there. What can we do to be again a more clinical team? Practice. It takes just practice because we have players who good at
And
you could
confidence.
say and confidence more importantly.
It's
Because
between
no
the
matter
ears,
how good
Coach.
that you are doing anything, if you lack confidence, you'd be crappy.
Yeah, Coach.
Yeah,
You know, when
yeah.
they're practicing, you see them putting the ball in the top shelf each and every time. But it's
Mhm.
different in game time
In a match environment.
yeah, and also, you can be such a great finisher, but when you lose confidence and you haven't scored in a while, the longer you haven't scored, the more time accumulates, the more misses you have, the lower the confidence gets, unfortunately.
Yeah, because again, the longer it gets that you haven't scored, the more you look at it, you haven't scored for a while. It's added pressure.
Yes, it accumulates.
Yeah, it's more like you have to break a jinx,
Yeah, they're,
to
they're
get started
very.
again.
You go to the forwards. The forwards, they're very fickle players. They're very, very fickle. And not. I'm not sure why, but it's all about the confidence. And I mean, they're very gifted individuals, and they all train hard in every team. But it seems to be a confidence issue more than anything. You'll hear ex pros talk about this more than anything.
Yeah, and Glenn says again, I hope one brings a pack of cards so that he can, at least while over time while they wait. Will Fofana start next game? There's no talent. All we know is that
I hope so,
he
but
started
probably
training
not.
with the group. I think he started training with the group. So it's up to the manager and his team to decide when they think he's fully fit. But I think, yeah, he came. He played. How long did he play the last time he came on as a substitute?
When's the last time he came on?
Was it
That
against Fulham? I think it was against. What
Yeah, it
game
was the
did he
game. It
come
was the
on?
game before
Or was it the one we lost? I'm not
Dortmund.
sure which one he came on.
It was the game before Dortmund, wasn't it?
I don't remember really, but that's why I think it'd be ready to start again by now. But I will go back to a back three for Fana, Silva, Padiashile with Reese again. But I would better off playing a back three structure. Let me go to AD. AD, before you answer the question whether you think would beat Spurs on Sunday,
I'm already.
your thoughts, do you think we should go back to a back three with that structure be more suitable for us in terms of us doing well and getting the results on Sunday?
Big up, coach. The big
Big
up,
up to you
Roger.
too, brother. I hope
Hello.
you're well.
All right, then. Well, you see, at this point, it's hard to say what system we need to play because what we just need is to win. I don't know what system will make us win. It's very hard to tell. But I think the coach will look at it and think of what he thinks will be the best way to win because we can't. We always say this in the past few weeks now. We can't just afford to lose a game. It's not good enough for us to lose again, no matter what the owners are saying. It's not good for the image of Chelsea as a football club to say we're losing and losing and losing. Just 2 wins in the last 14 is very bad. So whatever system is going to play, if it's a back three that will suit the game, because sports, I tell you, will smell blood on was it Sunday or Saturday? On Sunday.
On Sunday.
They will smell
What
blood.
time?
They
What
know.
time? UK time? Afternoon. It's noon.
I
Around
think it's half one.
1 p.m.
Half one, I think. I think half one UK time. Not
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
around
Okay.
1
half
p.m.
one
Yeah.
UK time. Yeah,
Yeah. Go
so
ahead.
No.
it's they smell blood. They will know that if Spurs for whatever reason cannot beat Chelsea this Sunday, then I don't see them ever having that beat Chelsea because this is the best chance for them to say yes, we can actually beat this Chelsea side. But at the same time, it could work to our own advantage as well because if they go gung ho pushing out to come and win us, we might just hit them on the point. And this is where Modric, with his pace and all, will be very useful on the day. Because if you look at Modric, any low block does not suit him. It looks as if he struggles. But when there is space on the pitch for him to run at, and I think and Spurs might be open to that on Sunday. So anything short of victory on Sunday, defeat is not to be thought of at all.
Well, so what do you think he needs to do for us to win that game?
This is $1 million question. It's hard for me to think what he needs to do, you know. But the lucky thing that I
if
think,
we were the manager, what would you do to make sure you get a win on that day?
yeah, it depends on the injuries. Like we don't know how fit Fofana is. Somebody was saying played back three. Is Fofana ready to start? I think he only came on. Was it the last game against Tottenham and Southampton that he came back?
Yeah, I still
Or
don't remember how long he stayed. How many minutes he got from that. But go ahead.
I think it was that game. So if he only came on, I don't think Potter will want to risk starting him in the game. He might still want to build his minutes gradually, you know. And then I don't know if Ben Chilwell and all. We don't know who are the players that are fit now. So, but if we go by okay, Fofana is fit and all. If he thinks back three will work for us to try and get the solidity back, at least go with the back three. And then if Dennis Zakaria is fit, maybe go with Enzo and Zakaria. Maybe go with a 3-4-3. You know, something like that. Just get the solidity back, and then we try and see what's going to happen because the 4-2-3-1 or what he's been playing doesn't seem to work for him. I don't know. Maybe the pairing in midfield, or I mean, I don't know. To be honest, it's hard.
Yeah, it's even actually to make it. I think a back four will actually be even more risky because back three, so to speak. Because if he plays with a back three, the more likelihood is that he deploys wingers in the wing back position because that's what he does. So I'm thinking maybe he's avoided doing that because because probably he doesn't want to risk it. And again, in a back four, I think we've been better off with a back four. We've defended better with a back four. So I
It
don't know.
accommodates João Felix also.
Yeah, accommodate to 10. But you could go. There's a way you structure a back three. Again, to accommodate the 10 instead of where you have 1-2, you have like a 2-1 or so. Yeah, where you have 2-1, you have 1-2. That's a 10 and two strikers. But we don't have that luxury to go with two players again up front. But I don't know. Even in the fluid
But I don't
approach,
think he's going to play. He's not going to play wingers as wing backs. We have Rhys James and Chilwell fit. Why would he do that?
oh,
Even
okay.
if he
So
wants.
yeah, so I don't think he does that. Which means again, if he does that, in again, which means he'd be playing with 2-8.
Yeah,
You know,
kind
and
of.
so he'd be living out the likes of again Noni Madueke, and then he live out the like of again Modric too. That's
Modric,
why I
yes.
think
So,
yeah, that's why I'm saying it's going to be difficult for him to revert to a back three approach. And he hasn't done that in a while now. I get it. So like you said clearly, and that's what's going to happen if he goes with the back three. He has traditional wingers, wing backs, and in Reece James and what's his name again? Ben
Ben
Chilwell.
Chilwell.
So which means yeah, that which means that anything he does up front, it will be 2-8. Or maybe if he deploys what's his name, Mudrik as one of the 2-8s, and whoever he decides to play on the other side as a second 8, maybe that would be the case. But let's see what happens. Good morning, Kachila, again, the technical director. And again, they had a crisis meeting. We'll talk about that in a bit. But thank you so much. More importantly, Abdul Rahman, I hope you're doing well. Fahim, Fami, help again. Please do let us know that you're doing well. Lambeka never played. I hope you're doing well. Button, I haven't seen you in a while. Please do let us know that you're doing well. He came on against what? Southampton. How many minutes again? Yeah, I think it must have been against Southampton. I don't remember. I'm
Who are you
thinking
talking
I'm a
about?
bit. He's talking about Fofana.
Oh yeah, he did. So
Okay.
he started the second half.
Okay, he started the second half. Okay, so probably will be ready to start a game right now. Confidence of character needed in order again for us to be able to be ruthless. Ruthless once again. Should we play Mount in a no? Please don't do that again. That caused a lot of controversies, and it was some again reshuffling that doesn't make sense. Even though it was supposed to be a fluid approach, it didn't work. He still again he looked even more lost than he looked when he was on the flanks, if that makes sense. And that's the New York guy. I'm sure he's intentionally playing again the devil's advocate. I think Chelsea can win Champions League, and Potter again Saints will be forgiven. Oh yeah, I'm all for it. Let him win it. I'll be the first to say, okay, you're forgiven. And can never say never. We're just 1-0 down, if that makes sense. And backlat, okay. Can you emergency meeting? We'll talk about that in a bit. Again, it says again showed that results were unacceptable, even though again the owners support Potter for time being. Yeah, again that shows they understand. They know quite well. They're not stupid. They know things aren't going well. So the meeting. The crisis meeting, you could say everybody's involved. The players are all. I don't want to get into it until we get into it because I have to get the opinion of those on the panel. Roger, again, what are the scenarios that might rise for Potter to be sacked? Okay, Roger, I'll help you. Can leave you to answer that. When I think once we're through with what we have in the chat this time, then again we'll start reviewing the match. We'll go back to the match again. I know we'll be going back and forth. That's what you get when you have an interactive show. But go ahead, Roger. Roger, are you there? It doesn't look like Roger. Okay, let's start with you, Eddie. Let's start with you this one. What are the scenarios that might arise of a Potter to be sacked?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's about results. If he doesn't get the results, no matter how the owners think they want to stick with him, give him long time, it's a project, they want to see him as part of the project. If results don't go the way the fans, because it won't take long now, the fans will turn against the club, and that will not be good for the club. They know the fans are not happy, so they can come out to talk about it, play it down. Oh, we're still in with him, we support him. I mean, it would if a defeat to Spurs now on Sunday. And then the next game, I think Dortmund, because the story we're hearing, Todd Bowley will be attending the game on Sunday, and then Ekbali will be watching the game against Leeds and Dortmund. So that tells you those three games, that they want to see for themselves what exactly. So if those results don't go our way, if it doesn't go as expected, say victories with good performances and all, I mean, it's. I say if we say Tottenham defeats us on Sunday, and again I think is it Leeds before Dortmund?
Let me look at it.
Not sure now. Is it Leeds before Dortmund or is it after Tottenham is Dortmund? I think just quickly check now. Okay, yeah, it's Leeds again. Yeah, it's Leeds
Okay.
before Dortmund. Yeah, so it's Leeds. So it's Tottenham, then Leeds, and Dortmund. So say these three games,
Yeah.
they come down as defeats. I tell you, you'll be sacked. You'll be sacked. There's no way they want to try and cover this up. There's no way. It's going to get sacked.
And if we're being honest, again, go ahead.
And if you look at the three games, Leeds just changed the manager now, so you expect a bounce from that. And Tottenham tomorrow on Sunday, they believe they will have that belief that they can. Chelsea is there for the taking, and then we go on to Dortmund. Dortmund 1-0 up from the first leg. I mean, these are not easy games. They should be based on the players we have, and if we had good managers, these are games that we shouldn't panic. Tottenham never defeated Tuchel during his reign, both home and away, all cups, and then Leeds. So we just need to see that we just can't afford to lose these games. It's just as simple as that.
Okay, if you're in the chart, it makes sense. Whatever you're talking, whatever you're saying, make it aligned with the match, the London derby, the Sunday game that we're talking about. Again, it will be easier so that I'm not distracted. But you go ahead, Richard. This question was was for you, but I think I'll bring Bobby in to speak. But I want us to move on and go straight to looking at again head to head and all the stuff. But go ahead, brother.
Sorry, I had to get a phone call. So
yeah, I sensed that, and apologies for kept calling you out.
No,
pay attention. Yeah, go ahead.
So, so as I said, honestly, I think this is a long-term project. What would it take for him to be fired, to be sacked? Honestly, you're looking at a significant amount of consecutive games to lose by, let's say, 3 to 5 goals, and it's not just the amount of goals, not just the losses, but it's the way in which they lose. That I think
the manner of the losses.
Yeah, I think that would set alarm bells ringing upstairs to either Vivell or Winstanley. I think these people would go to the owners and say, "Listen, we have an issue here. Perhaps this chap isn't the right person for the job. He's lost the locker room. However they want to term it. But that would have to be a significant amount of games consecutively, but more importantly, the way in which they lose. So that's what I believe, because I think they've identified him for a long-term project, and they know that. Listen, I understand everyone is talking here, but these are American owners, and invariably, I don't know, you're going to say, well, this is in America, but guess what? But these are American owners, and they look long-term. They do that invariably in their sport, especially NFL.
Yeah, so
very rarely do they hire a coach and fire him within 1 year. That is so rare. They keep them for at least 3 years. And then that's what they've actually stated publicly. That doesn't mean they'll do that, though. But
here's the thing. One thing I'd say again, but go ahead. Sorry. So you were still speaking.
But because they've said that, I believe, and because I've been exposed to American sports culture, that's why I believe that this could indeed be the case. However, I didn't think they would fire Tuchel though either. So what do I know?
All right. Again, so here's the thing. Again, more important than that, what I'll say, I think if they will never come out and say, no club, it'd be stupid to come out and say, yeah, I think we're going to fire him after the next game. I think we're going to fire him if we don't start seeing results. No owner would do that. Even Roman wouldn't do that. Again, the fact, here's the thing. What we're hearing just shows us they're concerned. They are concerned, no matter how you see it, even if they say we're going to give him 10 years.
Yes or no? Yes or no? The length of a contract doesn't matter.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. For instance, my point is this: they're never going to come out and say we're firing him.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, you would
more
hope
importantly,
so.
Again, the moment they decide to fire him, you won't even hear too much. but they're concerned. It shows they're paying attention to what's going on. But that's, by the way, let me get Bobby started, catch up with what we have in the chat. Then we go straight into talking about the match proper. And whatever you're adding in the chat, align it. Make sure you are aligning it to the sports game on Sunday. And we have 56 likes, and let's get it to 60 and get it to 100 as soon as possible. So your thoughts, Bobby, to this question on the screen. I know it was directed again. It was again asked specifically directed to Roger, but it says again. Let me say, Bobby, what are the scenarios that might arise for Potter to get sacked? And that's the last time we're going to talk about Potter's job again. We're just moving it. We're just going to move him to, talking about again the game. So, Bobby, your thoughts?
Yeah, I have to say I don't agree with Roger at all on this one. I don't think
the Civil War is still
I
going
don't
on.
think he's got I don't think he's got that much leeway because there isn't that much leeway to be had. You can't afford to go and have these sort of horrendous losses and still remain in the division, to be honest. Certainly from the position we're in right now. I think, I mean, Vival had a urgent meeting with him yesterday.
Yeah, we want to discuss that separately, so we don't give it away.
Well, it's all linked, and I think his job tenure was discussed. I think they are definitely looking to invest in Graham Potter long term, but they're not going to invest in failure long term. They want to invest in success, and they want him to be able to give them the blueprints of confidence that he will succeed. That's it's as simple as that. What would it take? Well, if he loses against Spurs, it won't help. If he then struggles against Leeds and then loses against Dortmund and gets dumped out of the Champions League, I think he'll probably be gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
These
that's
guys
how
aren't
Bobby.
joking. You know,
Yeah, go ahead.
football. These guys aren't joking. Football's brutal. You know, you don't drop £600 million for nothing. Nobody does that. No country even does that. Not to mention an investment company whose business is investment and profit. So they'd like to. I mean, they're not scared of spending money, but they're not stupid. And I don't think the stakes are too high. Way, way, way too
But
high.
Bobby, listen, he could be gone with a victory against Spurs this weekend. I'm not
No,
saying
he
I know
won't.
anything. I'm playing devil's advocate, but just from my
I will say
experience with
no, he
with
won't.
American owners, that they are far more patient. And we're talking about massive money that they spend in the NFL. Massive. You know,
Roger, let me ask you this. I know you always bring again. You bring up the NFL.
yeah, because
Do you really think, given
it's
what happens if
analogous.
we miss out? Yeah, I'm coming. I know it makes sense. Again, it comes into the
Yeah,
argument. My point is, do you
it's
think that
relevant.
because I really want us to move on from talking about his job to talk about other things we have lined up here. Do you really think, given the circumstances, what happens if we miss out of the Champions League? Do you really think they'd be as lenient again? They'd be if we're talking about
So
an American sport.
so okay, so there's no relegation, but they do have what they call the playoffs. So it's a hybrid. You know, like the Champions League, you have a group stage. In America, they call that the regular season, and then the round of 16, the round of 8, which is quarterfinals and semifinals, they call that the playoffs. It's a hybrid, if you wish, of a cup game and a regular season. That in every sport, that's how they've done it. And they have hired coaches that don't make the playoffs, okay, which means they don't get to go and play in Europe next year. And they are patient with coaches for, well, at least 2 to 3 years, unless they lose 15 out of the 17 games. If they're mid-table per se, and they're still not making the playoffs, which means being in the top 7, analogous to the English Premier League, then yeah, they're patient for 2 to 3 years. And we're talking, and you're saying, well, this is big money here. Well, it's even bigger money in the States. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right,
And
I
then
get your argument.
and that is not just a couple. That's virtually across the board. You know, as I said, that there are coaches that are there for 10 years. Tom Landry, 29 years. I could go on and on. There are coaches that are there, their tenure is a lot longer. Now, different sports, I get it, but I'm just saying that's their mentality. They look at the long term, generally the owners. That's all I'm saying. As I said, I could be 100% wrong. They may yank him this week. You don't know. I'm
Yank.
just,
Okay, the language. But no,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
sorry,
about language. I'm saying,
but
I'm
sorry,
just, I'm
but
just
sorry,
saying
but
this
sorry,
based on
Roger.
my experience in the States. That's all.
yeah, get him, Eddie.
Get me, Eddie.
Yeah, but do you think this is Chelsea Football Club they've taken over? This is
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
Newcastle. This is not Newcastle. The fans are used to winning. So whatever they think, they have to factor in the emotions of the fans as well in everything they do, because they know this. If it was Newcastle, now the fans are ready to wait and buy into the project. It's a long term one because they're not used to winning in the last years. Like, but Chelsea fans,
Well,
this is a big. So the owners will definitely know. They're hearing the noise from the fans. Like they listen to, no matter what they want to say, they listen to what the fans are feeling now. The feelings of the fans too. So they will know that this is not even if it was Arsenal they bought over, then they could have they might give them time because Arsenal they've not been winning in the last decade or so. But Chelsea, I mean, it's not. I don't think they'll go as far as saying want to give him whatever time to build and build if results don't change, then I don't think he'll last more than the 3 games. To be honest,
sure.
if we lose the 3 games coming, the next 3 games, he's gone.
Okay, but that's your opinion. I mean, listen, I could be 100% wrong. I'm not saying I know anything, but I'll give you a really good
No, you
example.
told us you know everything. You told us you meet with them
Really? Really?
every day.
Okay, let's. I'll give you a really good example. A coach for the Dallas Cowboys called Jason Garrett. 10 years he was the tenure. And he barely made the playoffs. He was mediocrity. He had hardly any winning seasons. And you're saying this is Chelsea. Well, the Dallas Cowboys are one of the top 2 or 3 teams ever in the NFL. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
it's a
see, I don't know
brilliant.
much. I don't know anything about the NFL, to be honest. So
Yeah,
I can't.
yeah,
I'm just talking about football.
sure.
The
Yeah,
way it
no, I
works in the
know.
football. I don't know the way it works with them there, the NFL. But the football, I
Here's
mean,
the
everywhere we know.
I'm not experienced again with the way the sponsors run here. Roger's more experienced again than me, but I think I have a bit of understanding, and I still don't think they treat them the same. If that makes
Sure,
sense.
sure.
And
As
in
I
this
said,
case, we're not. This is not a single owner. We have owners again from
no, no,
people
sure.
around the world. Bali, even if it's an American, probably understands football, how football works better than Bali does. But I really want us to move on
That's a
from
safe
that.
assumption. Yeah.
Yeah, let me catch up with what we have in the chat and move on from that one, if not, again, and talk about the game. And the question is, if you're in the chat, if you haven't, I want to get your thoughts. Do you think we can beat Tottenham on Sunday? If you think we can do that, what must Potter do for us to beat them? If you don't think we can, if you think we're not capable of beating them, you let us know what you think before we move on to the next topic. Again, I want the cousin of Harry Potter again, but us not scoring versus Dortmund and Southampton. Again, it's not the Potter's fault. Okay, a good point. Again, okay, some people argue that Potter should have been given time, should be given time because TT's acquisitions have created more problems than solutions for him. TT inherited Lampard's shambolic team and conquered a world with it. Again, Potter isn't good enough. That's Suru Lere. I'm a Nigerian. Again, before I became an American, I still can't say Suru Lere. And actually lived in again, Yaba for a long while. I still can't say Suru letter correctly, but again, Olushola, I hope you're doing well, brother. Again, who prepares the team? Again, is it the panel or the coach? I think tactically the coach knows the system. Either 3 or 4, it's up to him. It's up to him, but argument again, we had to talk about it. That's why we're here. We cannot prepare the team, but it's up to him. That makes sense. But I think it's more likely to go with the back four because it's achieved defensive solidity with that. With back three, I think we struggled quite a lot. Yep, so good one there. Dacho Fafana, again, looked promising in his last match. Yeah, he looked promising. He was again because on the day even that he was taken off early, he's still again
Coach,
to me one of the best in that game.
coach,
Would Potter start him again? We don't know. I think probably Kai
coach.
Havertz starts the next game. Yes.
That second half was a window into our future with that back line.
Okay, I'll go watch it again. I haven't watched. I haven't watched it the second time.
With Fofana and Badiashile, that's our future.
We still have Chalobah. You have to consider him too.
No, of course. But I'm just saying that's the future, I think, of our back line. I mean, they played well together.
All right, let's see what else we have in the chat. Again, listen, Potter is here to stay. He has the backing, and surely we cannot be as bad as this forever. I hope so. I back him to do well. This Potter is giving us, again, a lot of stress. Okelo, you're correct. Lots of stress, and it hurts, really, except if you don't like the club. Or maybe there are Chelsea fans who it's easy for them because again, once things start happening like this, they go into what I call toxicity mode. And maybe that helps them cope. It helps them cope to come and say, Chelsea will lose the next game, Chelsea will lose the next game. No, they're not just saying it because they're being objective, just because maybe that's how they cope with the situation. I don't know if my point makes sense. Potter will make 5 to 6 changes of a sports game. Again, we will get beat. At least you're backing your point up with an argument. Again, I don't think fans are making this easier on the players, and the negativity will only hurt us again. So we need to show support so we can show the lads we are with them through thick and thin. I think that's what I want to hear. We have to support them again because it doesn't make any sort of sense to go to the game. We have the players on the pitch are trying to perform, and you start booing. It doesn't help. Even if you want Potter gone, do that after the game. I think it does go. That will go a long way. Potter needs to trust all his strikers at this point again in time. Ordinary. Again, a blind person knows how Chelsea need someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. When you say that, I urge you to say that cautiously. When you say needing a single individual to be the point of where through it we channel all our goal scoring opportunities once we get again to the 18 opponent's box, you have to say that cautiously. That's the way you do it. It becomes an issue. If the players and staff can get through this dreadful period, then I foresee that when we do come back, would be a force to be reckoned with. That's a lot of positive stuff from you today. But usually, again, you sound differently. I have to be honest. You are Tottenham, especially if Cucurella is on the pitch. You don't want to see Louis Rivera talk. Tottenham wins. Okay, you must be a Tottenham fan. We don't have the luxury of time with 15 matches left. Many away and versus teams above us on the table. Dexter S. Again, it really does not matter how we lose or by how many goals. We need results as soon as possible. I get where your argument is coming from. And that's again in response to those saying if we lose 5 games or this, already saying if we lose 20 games even in 20 years, it's the gift itself. But that's, by the way, a quick turnover. Again, it is a rare in American sports. They usually just rebuild the team. So again, that's another angle to it. Also, a loss is a loss, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5-0.
No, it's not.
Again, when Roger says a significant amount of loss, more or less how many games? Chelsea all the way. Thanks for helping explain that, because it can be. People will take that comment and run with it. Again, it's okay for long-term project. The current project is a good one again, but Potter is not the right profile of coach again to lead the project, in my opinion. A very good way to end your sentence. I feel the same too, but it's always important to say, in my opinion. And if he proves me wrong, I'll be the first to say I support him. After all, I was one of those elated that he was the one that was going to get the job. I think they are looking for another manager right now, again, in case a Potter doesn't work. I wouldn't say they did not.
They should have a short list, coach. They should have a short list at all times.
And that's coming from his lawyer.
No. Every owner in every sport should
No,
have a
no, but
short
I get it.
list.
I'm just
Yeah.
making a point here.
Yeah.
You don't represent him anymore. I'm sure you do. Can you imagine again the hits to the owners' egos if we get dragged into a relegation scrap? Ooh, 600 million cannot buy Bali's Blues wins. Can it be a cruel joke at our expense? Yep, that's just the truth. But I don't think it will get to that. Even if you think Potter isn't the man, we have good enough players again, and we have nearly all of them fully fit. And most especially, I can't wait for N'Golo Kante to be fully fit. Vivell is going to pressure Potter. He doesn't even need pressure. It's his job. I think it's as a technical director, he's the one say, look, I've looked at this. It took me time. The way I'm seeing it, I don't think it's working. It's as simple as that. It's his job. Again, if he doesn't speak up and things get worse, I think he could get fired for it because they can tell him, we hired you. You should have seen this coming, and you didn't speak up. That's the truth. If anybody wants to say I'm wrong, again, please correct me if I'm wrong. If Vivell again speaks up, they listen. And if he doesn't speak, if things go the wrong direction, as a technical director, they question his competence. If that makes sense. Completely off topic, but wow, people called Ancelotti a finished manager because he went to Everton. He just slapped Liverpool 5 times again. Again, in how many minutes? I get that argument, but at Everton, I don't think he'd be able to do as well as he's doing at Real Madrid. If we really want to talk about that. Like Bobby will always say, he's a galactical manager. He needs to have good enough players. He's a tactical. That doesn't take away from him the fact that he's a tactical mastermind.
Yeah, great game last night, though, Coach.
Yeah, it was a delicious game, but I know you wouldn't be proud of the 2 goalkeepers.
Yeah, that was shocking, Coach. Shocking.
Yeah, but that's by the way again. Roger sounds like he does not want Mr. Potter to leave. I think that's coming from Choma again, a very respected Choma, and I want to make Choma a managing mod. So I'm going to find my time to do that. I'm going to make Choma a managing moderator, respected, very always objective, and also respectful. More importantly, civil overall. Except I don't think he likes Roger, and I'm with that. But that makes sense to me. Again, poor Roger. This chat is 2 days away from singing. Are you Potter in disguise? Leave the man alone. They made a big investment and not just sit and watch it again. Yeah, watch everything run into the gutter. I think it would be difficult. Had it been again, let's say they are like 5 years into it and they change manager, you could say they will have they can say let's be patient. But right now they want a good start because if you don't start well, it's usually difficult to again recover. If that makes sense, Mr. Roger, they cannot use same mentality for American sports. Roger, you're in trouble.
Why not? Why not? Because it's a sport, and they're looking long term. Why? You can do that in virtually every sport. That's a team sport I'm talking about, not like golf where you're an individual or tennis. So what they do it in hockey, they do it in NBA, they do it in soccer in America, they do it in the NFL, they do it in all sports. So no, I actually politely disagree.
All right. Big up to you, Bobby Fairview. I hope you're doing well. Big up, brother. Again, we're doing a lineup today. No, the lineup will be the day before the game, which is Saturday. We'll do that Saturday morning. We don't want to leave it because, again, it's an early one. We don't want to keep it on the game day proper because probably we'll still be on it. And then, again, the lineup will be out. We have built, again, a European-friendly squad again. And coaches again, all substantiated against support for a so-called flowing system without a center forward is more appropriate for Europe or La Liga, soft and not direct. I think I agree to this argument to a considerable measure. I'm going to highlight that if we have time enough. I honestly do want us to talk about Mr. Polito. Woo! Nice to see you, brother. Roger, keep bringing up the Cowboys again, the Landry last coach in 88. That's 35 years ago.
Yeah, and guess what? I just mentioned Jason Garrett, and he coached from 2010 or 11 to 2020. So I just mentioned someone with a 10-year tenure in the last he got fired about 2-3 years ago. So I just bring up Landry because he coached for 28, 29 years. So,
All right.
name me a coach that has that much tenure here.
Yeah, which shows you if nobody will stay that long in football. Not many will.
Yeah.
I don't know how long Sir Alex Ferguson stayed at United. But that's by the way. Again, we'll move on from that one. Did you see what Timo said to me? I really think I actually have heard about that 2 days
Yeah.
ago or a day ago. I really don't want to talk about it. That shows to me he's actually bitter or looking for excuses as to why it didn't work out for him at Chelsea. And I'm not
He
into that.
sounded
But
bitter. He
yeah,
sounded bitter.
yeah, he's just still bitter. But again, I'm going to move on from that. Jerry Jones, patience again with Garrett isn't a model for confidence. The Cowboys last won a Super Bowl in '96.
It's actually
Okay.
95, technically.
Okay. Yep. Roger always had a spreadsheet of facts. Greetings to Kachila and the rest of the panel. Greetings to you, to Aurelio Erbo. I hope you're doing well. And again, he said he was a Champions League winner, so Tuchel was wrong to drop him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to get into that. I think it's bitter. Another way to see it is that he's just making up excuses. As much as I liked him, but now I'm going to start changing how I feel about him, because had he left, not said anything, the Chelsea fans still love him. A lot of people will start saying he's bitter now, or again he's just trying to make up excuses. Just move on. Chelsea players respected him and loved him, even when he doesn't play well. They still sang his name because they liked him. They liked how hardworking he was. But now he's ruining it. Don't joke again with me, Chalobah. I see again yesterday, Joe Gomez again. There's no space for average players of football today if you want to be successful. Okay, I get it. We are going to beat again. We're going to be beaten thoroughly by sports. That's what you think. Again, I was born and brought up again in the comment section.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. In the comment section, energy importer is not good enough to win against Spurs. Okay, if that's what you think. And quickly, I'm gonna again catch up with a few of the stuff you have, and I'll go to the very bottom if you guys don't mind. The void, big up, brother. Pop, 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 pop. Again, hey, coach, again. Mind having me on? Sure. I think you're in the group. Aren't you in the group? You're in the group. Okay, just send me a quick message on Twitter. Then I add you to the panelist group. I did. So send me a quick message on Twitter, and I'll send you the link if you're not part of the group. I thought I added you to the group, Louis Rivera. Why not? Again, let's again. Hello, Coach Kenny. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling well. How about you? Again, in American sports, again, Dante saying they have incentives to lose. The lower, the better. Really, draft picks and all that. So I'm not well acquainted with that, but I don't want that.
I think you can hear. You'll never hear any coach or player say that we wanted to lose. In fact, you see it often where a team, had they lost, they would have got the number 1 pick, and yet they beat the other team, so they get the number 2 pick. So I kind of disagree with that.
All right, people, we're at 72 likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. We can, but only if you feel like we can. And please, I should drop a like on the stream to help us reach more people. And as you drop the like, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. Those things do go a long way. Also, when Ancelotti does these things, he has the best players. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying at Everton, it would have been difficult for him to have done anything special with Everton, given the players he had. But Pep is the best coach. Again, Glenn is really fighting me this morning. Go ahead. Were you going to say something quick? I really do want to catch up with the chat.
I just want to ask one quick question. Do you think if hypothetically we hire Ancelotti tomorrow, do you think he could do well with our squad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. We have the players. He has, again, experience in N'Golo Kante. Was another experience there in Thiago Silva. And he, again, you can say he was the coach when Thiago Silva played for AC Milan, wasn't he? Even also at PSG, too. He knows Thiago Silva quite well. He will again, a lot of players there are his type of players. Again, all good players are any manager's type of player. We don't want to go into specifics, but I think he'd do well with this club. Fresh again, right off the bat. He's experienced enough, more experienced than Graham Potter to get them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you can't compare them. No.
So again, I'm not going to fight you because I like you. I'm talking about Glenn, but he's making a very solid point here, if we're being honest. Also, when Ancelotti does these things, he has the the best team, but Pep is the best coach in the world. Again, that's a solid argument. That's the truth. I think you're very correct. So we shouldn't be looking at that. We shouldn't be again looking at that argument from the angle that he's a Galactico manager. But again, it does make sense also to take that. And he's laughing at me. But that's by the way. I think of again. I try to come on the channel again with an open mind. Then I hear the club prop, and it gets me fired up. Well,
propaganda.
Yeah, propaganda again. That's up to you. Anyhow you see it. Again, open mind means even what you categorize as propaganda, you should be open to listening to it. If you're really open minded, if you get my argument, around 11 p.m. when again. I'm not gonna read that one. When dead people start to sell the 13 naira for 1 gallon and 50 pounds, give what they're making go. No, be me. Potter is not going again to beat anyone. Chelsea will lose. Okay, if that's what you think. This bad form will pass definitely, but at least a UEFA position must be attained for sure. With all. Again, we have all the ingredients to beat Spurs. Okay, different thinking. Roger, I respectfully disagree, and I have statistics to back it up. Okay, bring on the fight. Why does Zidane talks then? We don't need to get. I don't even like Zidane. Zidane actually, if anybody is really a Galactico manager, it is Zidane. If that makes sense. If anybody is, it is Zidane because he hasn't coached any lesser team before. Chelsea had 10 points before Tuchel left. So Potter has won 21 points. That's a relegation battle, I'm afraid. Okay, again, I say again, Anfield again because they have best. Yeah, I get it. You've said that before. We should again have a team spirit. But Chelsea without the centre forward, we might end up losing again. And I'm still going to say this as we call for the club to sign a centre forward. Be cautious about that. Who wants Zidane at Chelsea? I didn't want him. I don't want him either. Again, last season we finished a third, and you're saying again, give Potter time. We are getting worse. Wow, that's serious again. Potter hates Chukwuemeka and Dacho Fofana. Blue London TV. Big up to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. I think hate is strong. I don't think. Can you back up your argument? I don't know. Back up your argument. We don't know what's going on. And I wouldn't say hate. Hate is a strong word, but I get it. You're entitled to your opinion, brother.
I think he prefers other players at the moment.
Yeah. What squad Real? Too much world class players, and they will win the Champions League. I don't think Real will win the Champions League this season. That's my argument. And remind me, I said I don't think they'd win it. What squad again? And the one. What, around $1 billion? Okay, thank you. You slug it out with him. I'm going to sit and watch this one. Let's see what else we have. Again, it's in as much as I want Harry Potter's cousin gone. Us not scoring at least a goal versus Dortmund and Southampton is not Potter's fault. You said that before, and I read it. Again, I no longer watch Chelsea matches because I know that every team is in this world. No matter how small they are still better than Chelsea. Chelsea's Potter team, really. And I'm sure from your name, Blue London TV shows you have a YouTube channel. Are you still producing content? We will win the champion. We will win UEFA Champions League with Ancelotti. You can argue that again. He's a master tactician. Tell me something about Neymar. I don't think it's coming. If anything, he said he wants to stay at PSG for the foreseeable future. How people cannot accept the truth. No, listen, let me say this. I don't know how old you are, Eugene Naughty, but here's the thing. Whatever you say, as long as you are not speaking facts, it's not something we can look at somewhere and confirm. It's your opinion, and people don't have to accept your opinion, if that makes sense. Again, much love to you, Eugene. Or again, if you bring Tuchel, and we win Champions League, I don't think Tuchel comes back. He's actually gets a chance he goes back to PSG. The average age of our squad is too low. Ancelotti will need a more. Maybe he still has Kante, he still has Kovacic. Even if again the average is too low, I think he still have enough experience there to do well. Maybe he starts playing Aubameyang. Young players are never ever win anything. So get over it again. I'm not gonna. I agree. Ajax always have the youngest squad, one of the youngest squads in the world, and they win quite a lot. Uh, okay, not you again. You did not. I suspected you were having again a conversation with him or a fight. I don't know, an argument. Ancelotti is better at winning Champions League than Pep. Oh yeah, the record shows it. He's won more than Pep, I think. So do we even need to argue that again? I'm lost. Okay, you go ahead again. The future of Chelsea is worrying based on current happenings. You could argue that Nachos are trend TV. I hope you're doing well. Please do let me know that you're doing well. I feel the same. The immediate future is my concern. I know the future will be bright. Like I said, so bright that you'd need glasses. You need protective glasses to look at Chelsea's future so you don't go blind. Would you take Enrique? I'd take Enrique. I've taken my time to look deep, to look at him again. I think it's even though he likes tiki taka, I think it's a more he does that from a more pragmatic approach than Pep does. So I would take Enrique. It's very pragmatic. It's not your typical tiki taka manager that again is either it's beautiful or burst. No. If he gets a chance to do something differently, he does that. Coach, that Nicholson already told me I cannot set the truth. I'm not going to talk with you guys. Mr. Roger, I am in New York City. The average salary of an NFL coach is $5.8 million per year. An NBA coach is $3.7 million per year. With that amount, the coaches can be afforded some time. That's another way to argue that you cannot win 3 Champions Leagues in a row without that. Of course. Oh, yeah. Is that rocket science? No. Again, Barca is young, but what have they won? The new Barca team, what have they won, really? And they do have some experience there. How old is Dembele right now? How old is Andreas Christensen right now? He's still young, but I think, isn't Andreas Christensen 26? How old is he?
Are you talking about for Barcelona or a former Chelsea player?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's a Barcelona.
He's like 25, 26. I forget.
Yeah, so
now.
they're not that young, really. Amazing project Real has in it. Yeah, and I think Real have mastered the. Should I call it the art of transition? They, like from team to team.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you hardly see them suffer. If that makes sense again, and it's what again up. And it works. Apparently, it does. Again, they win 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Porter is earning the salary of a top-tier coach. He must be judged as a top-tier coach. I didn't actually pay attention to how he jumped from one of the least paid managers in the league.
I think it was like 1.8 million to 12
and now he's at
million.
12 per year.
Yeah.
Why did I'm thinking possibly
because they wanted
a lengthy contract.
Yeah, and they had to entice him to leave Brighton to get out of his comfort zone. Don't forget, he turned down the Tottenham job. So they really liked him. Would you
offer such salary to an unproven, you could say, manager that you could say, unproven manager with that pedigree?
I wouldn't say unproven. I would say an
unproven say manager
winner.
With his pedigree.
Exactly. Yeah, he doesn't have that pedigree. He doesn't. He's not an elite coach. You can't call him that. I think they're hired him based on, I think, interviews and how they interface with him because of probably talking about acquiring other players from Brighton. And I think they looked at how his resume. I think they looked at him and he's a cerebral person. He lacks charisma for sure. And I think they looked at him as a long-term project, like based on his ceiling, his potential, nothing else. They're hoping that he could grow with the club for this project. He's certainly not an elite. He's got no resume in that regard. Can't hear you, coach.
Sorry, do you read my lips? I wouldn't give him such an increase, really, even if I trust
it's a huge increase.
Yeah, so now that's one of the reasons why it's even difficult for them to decide what to do, even if it's not doing well. if that makes sense. But that's by the way.
And they paid Brighton to get him. You know,
Yeah, they spent quite a lot.
about 13. Was it 13 million?
20 up to they spent up to 20 extra
20.
outside of his
Yeah.
salary.
Really? All
Yeah.
right.
And then
you
there's
can
the
see.
other staff, right? Then there's the backroom staff. Then
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
there's a lot.
So
So
it's a difficult one to deal with.
this is what makes me believe that they look at him as a long-term project. You know,
But that's no guarantee.
no, of course, nothing is guaranteed in this. Look, the Newcastle coach, 8 years, got
Alan
sacked
Pardew.
after what? Yeah, Pardew.
Yeah.
That was
Let me
hysterical.
let me catch up with the chat so we can move on. Again,
Yeah.
did Chelsea sack again? No. Did you see anything? You let us know again. I forgot the word 11 that were all Real Madrid players. Yep. Again, Madrid won the UEFA Champions League consecutively 3 times under Zinedine Zidane. Specifically, correct me if I'm wrong. The only coach that can solve Chelsea problems is Jose Mourinho. He's the only coach that tells the young boys that they can beat any team in the world. Yeah, again,
He
that's a
doesn't
different
work
thing
with young
altogether. And you
players.
will, again, the spirit, yeah, I get it. I think I sent you the link. I think you go by another name on Twitter. So, sorry, Roger, you were saying something?
He doesn't really work with young players much, does he?
Yeah, I've argued that myself, but you could argue, but what we have is some talent. I think he'd do well with them, but I don't want him. He's not been progressive enough for me, if that makes sense. Again, it's not up to what I want. It's not up to it. Does the owners again? Probably don't know I exist. Eugene Nati again. They always that's the truth again. Roger, that's for you. I'm sure. This like if you're gonna he's saying if you're gonna cry but I really do want us to move on from this particular topic. It's the elephant in the room. I get it. So again, if Chelsea gets a new manager and when you are instant improvement and a result, what would that mean? Well, it means that the manager, no matter how you see it, is again it's done better, maybe first of all done better than Potter, if that's the case. Or maybe can win instant improvements and results. You can say, I don't see it. It's just that he's doing well than Potter. But people will come back with the argument, yeah, probably because he has a lot of players back from injury. When Potter was the manager, lots of them were out. Luis Enrique, better than Potter, given again why he's won. That's why again I don't agree with your sentence. Tactics don't matter when you have the best players. No, tactics do. You have to know what you're doing too. You can have the best squad. Yeah. Again, if you're not good tactically, then you're in trouble. Potter's contract is a poster child for all the stupidity of the last 7 months. Okay, again, Zidane was not class manager when he came. Okay, again, he's a mid-table coach, and Tottenham didn't offer him nowhere near 12 million. Again, I as much as I wanted him at Chelsea, I have to say that's a redonkulous thing to do, really. If that makes sense. Seriously, doesn't anyone in their heart of hearts believe that Graham Potter will take Chelsea? Does. Okay. Anywhere? I don't know. A lot of people maybe will. And Shaq says again, it would cost 100 million to hire and sack Potter.
What?
I've heard 80 million. You added 20. Can you break it down? Really, it's be interesting to look at it. It showed that Bowley didn't know what he was doing at the time. And no one to help him. Not that Potter is what that. He took advantage of the situation, and now he wants to leave.
Or had bad advisors. Let's put it that way.
He wants to leave. Yeah, because that's. I don't know how he can explain giving Potter 12 million a year. I think he's the highest paid in the Premier League right now, isn't he? Given the argument.
I believe so. Yeah.
Wow, that is something. The only news I want to hear is again not even that Chelsea won. I get it. That's Potter. It's been sacked. Only thing Mourinho would not will know right now is get a spine, possibly by dropping certain promising players. Oh yeah, that's his approach. Again, he thinks again. It works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work. Damage the like button, people again if you can. 30 more likes to get it to 100 likes, and we can do that only if you want. Again, coach, again, Yoruba proverb, again, I that will last till night. I will not give problems in the morning. At least if results will improve. Again, with Potter letter, there will be some glimmer of hope with current results. True. Let's prepare again for long suffering until Graham Potter leaves. Even the owners will come to the realization very quickly. We are a big club. I agree with you. Again, with that, again, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, and I'm happy. I think I've read virtually everything everybody had in the chat. Let's talk about the next topic. And I want to start with AD. Let's get over with that one as quickly as possible, so that we can go into reviewing the match proper. So no more talking about Potter from now, but there's no way this particular topic we can talk about it without talking about Potter. Again, like we said, it's an elephant in the room, really. So Eddie, here's the one right here. It's Chelsea's new technology director, Christopher Vivell, led an emergency meeting with Graham Potter and his staff on Tuesday to address how their season is unraveling. Crisis talks were called at the club's Carbon training ground. To me, that shows also he has the power to go meet the owners and say, this isn't working. And like I said, because if I am the owners and things aren't working, and he doesn't come to me and say, and if later on, to me, somebody advises me the manager is a problem, and I sack the manager, I think I'd sack him too, because I say to him, you were watching the games, you were seeing how things were going, and you didn't even try anything to fix it, and you didn't even come to me and say you don't think this is our man, because they hired him before he joined, but I think he has every right to tell them this isn't the man for the job if things aren't going the right direction. But Eddie, your thoughts on the crisis meeting?
Yeah, that's the way to go, because it's not working, to be honest. So they have to discuss it. No matter how we try to paint it looking good at the outside, it's definitely a crisis. So they need to sit and discuss about it to know the way forward, and it has to change. Results have to change. So that's just the bottom line. Results have to change. You have to see better performance, and then they have to make the fans happy. It must be getting to them as well that the fans are not happy, you know. So they just have to change. The meeting will be. We don't know the details of it, but it will definitely be about trying to change results as quickly as possible, starting from Sunday. So if this kind of meeting is happening, then it tells you that Potter definitely will know. No matter what the payout will be, oh, it's going to be 80 million, it's going to be 50 million. I mean, if he knows what is good, he will definitely, he's human as well. He has to think about it. You cannot want to hold the club to run when they have the trust in you to give you 5 years. And if in his heart of hearts, he knows that he has fallen short of the expectations, when it comes to negotiations, say they want to part ways, he has to be considerate as well. You know, he won't want to say go away with this full payment when you know in your heart of hearts that you've not delivered. They put their trust in you, gave you this contract. So if anything is going to happen, he has to take a big cut. You know what I mean? So
and just quickly, before I go to Roger, do you think Vivell has the power to say to them, look, this is not our man. We have to move on from this guy, and they'd listen to him?
Yeah, well, he has to say his own bit. But if they don't listen, there's only one thing. He might just walk away. So if he advises them, if he advises them properly and they're refusing to take to his advice, he'll walk away.
Yeah, it's pointless him being there. I agree.
Yeah. So Roger, again, your thoughts? Like I said, I'll fire him in a heartbeat if things go bad and he didn't even make a move to say, look, things aren't going the right way. But your thoughts again?
Who is this source? Who's the source? Is it credible? Did this meeting actually take place?
Nizar Kinsella. And there are others. Again, I'm not surprised. Are you surprised to hear that a crisis meeting was held? I'm not surprised. But let's say
you're not answering the question.
Let's assume it took place. Okay, you're answering. Okay, I thought you were asking me a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am. I'm asking you, how credible is the source? Do we know this took place?
Nizar Kinsella is trusted. But here's the thing. Let's just look at whether
have they confirmed or denied this. This is what I want to know.
They will never. But let me ask you this, Roger.
Of course they will.
First of all, multiple sources yesterday released a statement saying a meeting was held, and after the meeting, they decided they're going to fire Graham Potter. Did we see a record of the meeting? No. But let's just, if in fact this happened, let me start that way, Mr. Objective.
Sure.
Okay. Mr. Objective Roger, if in fact it happened, what do you make of it?
Well, I make of it because of Vivell didn't hire him. Don't forget, the coach was hired before the technical director, which is doing things arse backwards, as they say. Really is. It's like, it's nonsensical. You hire a technical director, then you get that technical director to at least hire a coach or give input on which coaches should be hired. If it's a committee decision. So
okay, just quickly, what's the job? What's the job of a technical director? Are you well acquainted to what they do?
Yeah, so I remember I googled it and I looked up the difference between the technical director and the other one. There's two, and I forget, one is to do with the actual players' technical development, and the other is to do with the actual coaching and so forth. And I can't remember which one was which. Remember, we had that show and I googled it.
So we could argue that he has a say on whether the manager stays or goes.
Sure, and he may not have liked this hiring decision in the first place because he was never employed when this transpired. So he do you understand? This is not his boy, as they say. He didn't hire him, just like the owners didn't hire Tuchel. So maybe there isn't a comfort level, and I don't know what their relationship is. Now, Win Stanley knows him well, and I'm not sure, is Win Stanley and Vivell, aren't they both don't they both hold identical job titles? I'd have to look at what the actual hierarchy that Bobby sent. That's a long time ago.
Okay, so bringing it to the topic now, what do you make of this? Like, if in fact it happened, again, Mr. Objective, because you were never going to talk about this seriously if you think it didn't happen.
That's why I don't know.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing to always keep it objective, Bobby.
Of course.
Roger.
Yeah.
So what do you make of it? Let's assume it happened.
Sure. Under that assumption, then I think one or more than one of the hierarchy, let's say whether it's an owner or it's Vivell or it's Winstanley, whomever, have concerns, and they want to address that if this chap is not the person, then we need to have a shortlist. So what I would say would be contingencies. So they're being proactive because they recognise that the next games coming up are, I wouldn't say detrimental, but they're very important games in the direction of their season. This is purely an assumption, so I don't know, but this is an indicator to say that one of these parties is concerned.
Yeah, I'd have to say, this is usually
that would be my conclusion, Coach.
Yeah, it's usually difficult to get you to speak with to be fighting an hostile in this if there's no way to confront the source, but which is a good thing. I operate like that too.
Because whenever I have a discussion, whether it's in politics, finances, sports, it all depends on the credibility of the source. Otherwise, it's a moot point. It's simple as that.
All right. Again, let me get Roger's thought. And I think did they speak about this already? They did. I think I started with Eddie. Bobby, if you're there, your thoughts. Let's move on. Again, this one, I think that's the final random topic. Then we'll move on to talking about the game. Bobby, your thoughts again. The fact that they held a crisis meeting, there's no way to confirm. But I know it sounds about right. It sounds like something like that really did happen, even if it didn't happen today, because this report came out today. It probably happened yesterday before it broke. Again, what wasn't really a breaking news, because all the things we're hearing, I don't need them to say breaking news. Chelsea are not going to start Porter for me to conclude they were never going to let him go. We've heard so much showing they still back him. At least that's what we believe. But your thoughts on the crisis meeting that Vivell held, and I want to know from you, does Vivell have the power or the authority to go to them and say, this isn't our guy, and they'd listen?
Yeah, I mean, there's no surprise about this meeting. They were always going to have this meeting. All the big journos said that the meeting was coming. They met yesterday. It was inevitable. It makes sense. And it sort of reiterates what I was saying about his position. His position, yes, he's there for long term, but they're not going to back long term stupidity. They need to see progress and they need to see wins. That's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of this club, this deal, this whole Premier League, the top flight. You're not there to lose, but they will talk to him to find out what the problem is. Of course, they have to see what the situation is. He does have some mitigating circumstances with the injuries and the new players, and they will be talking about how to support him. What else does he want them to do? Does he need certain players in certain areas. Can he predict how long this will go on for? It's a discussion. It's not a firing. It's a discussion, and I wouldn't expect any less.
Yeah.
They'll be having sort of direct questionings. Are the players getting on well with you? Have you got any issues with some players? Do you think this player is good enough? Will he last until the summer? Well, it's a big discussion,
Mhm.
and the objective is to improve, always to improve. But is it to accept mediocrity? No, that's the purpose of the meeting, to go into the realms of improvement and into back on track to winning. Vival, does he have the power to approach the ownership and say that this guy isn't the guy? Of course he does. That's his
Yeah.
job. He's the sporting director. Will he do that? No, he will explore every single avenue to improve. That's his job as well. He's not there. They didn't put him there to dismantle the things they've put in place. They chose this guy, so they're going to do everything they can to protect him and support him. And Vivel is there to do the same. Now, if he absolutely disappoints them, um, of course they're going to turn. And of course, another thing they need to discuss is his relationship with the fans. What if he doesn't win on Sunday, or is it Saturday, and they
Sunday.
want to still give him a chance? Well, a lot of it depends on how, although I don't see how. There's no such thing as not winning and having favor. But they will discuss his PR. I think one of the things that Potter did to lose the fan base is, whether you like it or not, football is infectious, it's emotional. We're all emotional. Why? Because we love the club. You cannot care about something and not care about something. There's my terms again. I did that on purpose, Coach, because I know you like when I talk like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you're sounding
But
like a rapper.
but you know what I mean. If you care about something, you can't help yourself. You're triggered. You're emotional. You react. Those of us that have children, there are certain circumstances you find your child in. You're moving on instinct. You're doing things that even surprise you as to how emotional and reactive you can be. It's because of love and the instinct to protect. Now, anybody that, I'm not expecting um, uh, 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 Graham Potter to be a Chelsea fan immediately. Of course not. Even the likes of Mourinho, although I believe sincerely he's a Chelsea fan now, but when he first came, he wasn't, and he knows how to separate his love for the club from his love for his job. But and Conte the same thing. But I do expect, and this is where we learn from. This is what I liked about people like Conte. Once you take on a job of this magnitude and this nature, you have to throw yourself into the job. And once you throw yourself into the job, you're emotionally bound, and things that happen hurt you. All this, oh, I have a cool, calculated, emotional intelligence head, and because the penalty. Oh, I can't do anything about it. I think that's a horrible miscalculation. And that in itself shows a lack of emotional intelligence. Sometimes you have to be brave and step over the lines and say, look, VAR got it wrong. I'm giving an example. I think this actually contributed and cost us, and I think they need to review how they look at these decisions. You've got to come out fighting for your team. You've got to do it. You can't sit on the fence. You can't be this Mister Everybody loves me. I'm the cool guy. I'm there for the media. I'm there
He's
for the
passive,
FA.
isn't he?
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. Not if you're managing Chelsea Football Club. However, you can do that if you're managing Brighton, possibly. But Chelsea, you have to be more emotional. You have to be more engaged because of the magnitude of the job. And I think that's where he's shot himself in the foot. Potter has so many things going for him. He's an English manager. He is kind of grassroots, if I can use that term, in terms of where he's come from. In that he's come from nothing. Everybody likes a grass to grace story. If he showed emotion, I think the fan base will give him more lenient.
He lacks charisma, Bobby.
Yes, they would give him more time because there are some marginal improvements, and whether we like it or not, if, for example, I'll give you an example, he was animated on the touchline in that loss to Dortmund, I think people would feel more for him. Or he was animated on the touchline in that game against West Ham.
Or
I
Tuchel
think
to Kante. Remember? Conte, I
content,
mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think people, because we want to, I say this and people, nowadays you almost can't even talk. It's like, we're, you know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
men. We testosterone drives us. We're warriors. That's an instinct in our nature.
Passionate. Yeah.
And that's part of our passion. Our instinct is to fight, either physically, emotionally, mentally. Especially in the battle of competition,
You
and
think
you
he's too
have to
restrained,
show
don't
that
you?
he's too restrained. He is. I always refer to the Mikel interview. I love that interview because it told us everything about the winning footballer. What that statement he made was, imagine a young kid, you're in a dressing room, you're with Ballack, Drogba,
It's intimidating.
Lampard, all these fierce characters, check, and you're in the tunnel and you're going to play a game against Man United, and you're
Wow.
there. Perhaps you feel a little bit nervous, but you look up the top of the line of players and you see John Terry in front of you, and you look around you, and as just before the officials say, right, let's get on the pitch, something kicks in. Okay, it's time to go to war. And
Game
this
face
is what
on.
we are as men. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
All
be
right.
afraid, but if I can
Oh,
just land, and I'll shut up. But that trigger will take you forward, and you have to do that. And Potter's not doing that. He's a damp squid, and the fans don't like it. He
damn
is.
squid.
So
I
he
love it,
is.
Bobby.
So I think one of the things Vival will be telling him is work on your PR with the fans, or you will lose them. Period.
All right.
Coach,
Again, a great
can I
contribution.
just
Sorry, I thought you've dropped. Then we haven't done anything about the football, but go ahead, Roger. We haven't
I
talked
just want to
about
say
the game in
something.
particular. Uh-huh.
Don Hutchinson on ESPN, and I think it was LeBouf also, was saying that there's a strong possibility that the hierarchy, like a Vivell, has already probably approached the leaders in the team, like a Silva, and said, "How are things going?" They said at this juncture in the process, they can't see that they wouldn't have actually approached the leadership like an Aspie or a Silva and asked their opinions on what's transpiring.
Oh, they most. I'm sure they have. They
Yeah, so,
won't take it as gospel, but they'll talk to them because
sure.
they
Yeah,
want to know how to make things better.
yeah, and that's
Surely.
probably, and I say that in conjunction with this meeting, so that's why I mentioned it.
But we cannot. There's no telling what the players tell them whenever they meet. But
Oh,
people can
sure,
always
sure.
make up stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Okay, let me catch up with the chat again. Then we go into talking about the game proper. This is why we're here today, and we still have enough time to do that. Do you believe Kante's return? I have again on the Q&A again tab. You can put your response there, and I'll try to get it. Whether again based on this question from Kashan, the New York guy, I asked, do you believe Kante's return could turn things around, could help turn things around? It's but I have to phrase it the way he phrased it because it's his question. You see that on the question and answer tab. I'll get your response later. Again, yes, again, to me, Enrique is good. Kante's return, but how fit is he? It would take time. I don't think would bank on him to do anything this February. If anything, match ending probably. We need to give him time to recover fully. We don't want him to come back, come in, join the fray prematurely. It can be a risk. Again, is that tweet again from Dodgers? The blue tick. No, not the late Dodgers. So what's that from? Yeah, again, yeah, Chelsea Dodgers. But again, there are multiple other sources again quoting the same thing from Nizaki Salah. Kante is at Benzema. Bali, Spinum, Porter in the coaching staff as a sack, a pressure builds again daily and Sunday Express. This is really shambolic, comical, really. Because how did they know that he's spying on them? I really do want to know. But I think not enough. Kante is going to show his amazing heart again and save again another man's career. You could argue that. I think Kante, as much as I like the number of Kovacic, but I still say they don't differ that much. If anything, that's the most we can do right now. Kante, again, you can say again, what's his name? I need the convo of what's his name? Fernandez and Kovacic. I think that's the most best we can do for now. But a convo, a combo, so to speak, combo of Fernandez and Kante will be something special because Kante is more, again, the more defensively sound of both. Even though Kante is traditionally an edge, but I think he can do better for us defensively than Fernandez. Managers that are available already don't like our fancy structure, so that's how you see it. So we will pay fees to get a new manager. All in again. Porter would have been 100 million a mistake. Clearly should sack someone. Well, it doesn't. It wouldn't make sense to sack him now and spend 100 million for that. I don't know how that happened. That's a discussion for another day. We are definitely, yeah. Again, when I realized that, I was like, wait, what? I couldn't believe it. If I'm being honest, really, we are definitely going to be the first club with an AI manager. Data driven. If that's what you want, then you might as well use an AI. Then we're never going to lose a game. And then he can use again there again for the taking on Sunday. You cannot score goals. That sounds like someone who's not a Chelsea fan. A CFC usually would not comment on speculations. Yeah, that's the thing. It has to when the decision is made, that's when you hear from them. If they want to comment anything regarding the manager's future, then it's either the manager is on the verge of losing his job, and they feel like a public statement could probably lower the pressure on him or lower the temperature if that's what's make better sense to you. Or already, if the manager is gone, then they come out and say this is the reason why we had to make that decision. Although it was tough, we had to. We believed in him, but things didn't really work out. I report Modric isn't happy at Chelsea. That's absolute nonsense. Yeah, we'll have to say, okay, I get it. You're an Arsenal fan. All my United fans are mocking me, and I don't have hope. Again, on when the mocker will come to an end, maybe help yourself. Try be a bit positive. Try and show some belief in the team. Maybe that will go a long way for you. You don't want to die before your time because you're supporting Chelsea. Again, sorry. Roger, aren't you upset that they had a meeting with Graham Potter without his lawyer? He should be. He should be concerned. Maybe that would be an excuse to call it mistrial because he wasn't there to represent him. If anything happens, he can sue for mistrial or maybe not proper judgment or something. Roger cannot, again, face the potential possibility of his client getting the sack. Also, coach, don't trust these Twitter sources. It is not coming from Fabrizio. Then it's all rumors. all bullcrap. Really? So to you, if it's not from Fabrizio, you don't trust it. I don't trust Fabrizio. I still trust him, but I wouldn't hold my breath to say everything he says. Let me just be honest. I trust him, but I wouldn't hold my breath to say everything he says is the truth because I'll die. He's gotten it wrong, which means you shouldn't hold your breath and say he's again. Once he says it, that's what it is. I would not do that. I'm into actually analyzing information before I say, okay, you know what, this is what I think it is. So let me just say I don't trust Fabrizio either because I do analyze information before I say this is what I think it is. I usually don't say that is definitely what it is.
Coach, who are your top 2 to 3 Twitter sources?
Here's one of them. BJ Ben Jacobs, one of them. I use multiple sources, and I can't say certainly any of them is the best. But what I do and how I am trained, given my background, I don't want to go into again is to get information here, get information here, get information here, put them together. You can come to a sensible conclusion.
I get it. So like
as long as it's not a fact that you can go somewhere and confirm, nothing is certain. All speculations. Building a long-term success is not again with Potter. But with Tuchel, okay, go get Tuchel back. But it's not going to be easy. But we should wish our team again. What? Should we wish our team a severe defeat versus Tottenham just for Potter? No. I don't think it's okay. I'm begging again to think that again that the board does not again react because we are losing by a goal most of the time. More importantly, sacking Potter will be very expensive. I'm hearing the total nice 100 million. I was thinking 80 million. I think the whole thing, the construct of the whole, you can say what makes up how much for him getting that amount will be how much he gets a year. Is that what it is? Yeah, 12 million a year, and for 5 years that's 50 already plus. If you're just going by 10, there's 60 in total again plus that. Wow. Ooh. Okay, I'm moving on from that. On the bright side,
that's funny.
Oh my goodness,
that's a good one, Bobby Fevy. Brutal.
Bobby, I'm sure you want to go to heaven. You have to be fair to us that are concerned, but I don't think we'll be fighting relegation. Potter is accustomed to again accustomed to fighting the relegation scraps. Yeah. Yes, I don't think that happens. We have a lot of good players coming back. I think even if it's not good enough, I think players will do better. Will help carry us through. Even if a meeting took place again, I doubt the agenda was put as an rival of season. Again, you don't put such statements on meeting agendas. Yeah, you don't. Again, if that makes sense. Thiago Silva would be a better manager. With that, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Apologies to all of you there. I'm not going to be able to get everybody's comment. Sack him now before we draw Real Madrid the next round. Yeah, again, that is if we slap. If we don't get slapped by Dortmund. Here's the thing: never say never. Never say never. We can actually beat Dortmund. We can actually beat them. We were just 1-0 down. After all, we did it 3-1 down to Napoli in 2012. If Potter is indeed called up for some meeting to discuss unraveling of the season, and that probably would be a meeting to sack him. Really? Wow. I don't want to say JC because it sounds like I'm saying it doesn't. It wouldn't sound like anything different from like saying thus says the Lord. Murray, I don't think he's a Chelsea fan. He's a reference. Again, he's talked about come to. He used the term that Viver would have come to Arsenal. So, which means, again, he's not a Chelsea fan. So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. My apologies to all of you. I'm not going to be able to get everybody's. Kenya in the house. Cedric Kimaru, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Tuchel did that again more so than Conte. Okay. Again, Bali will not get things right again with this with this philosophy on the average manager. I don't think it's up to him alone. Again, I'm reluctant to criticize Potter for his behavior. It's a style point. that's very objective, really. Again, coming from you, I prefer again address the fact that we put an unqualified man on a long-term contract. So you're seeing it a different way. So the behavior, like I said, is the least of my concern. But we scrutinize his behavior because the team isn't doing well. And to my bro, Blue Blood, big up to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Is someone out in the rain or taking a shower? Where is this coming? You're hearing the noise from I'm guessing he was getting the feedback from the panelists. Again, I gotta go. Cheers to you two, brother. See you next time. And I hope we win at the next game. What's this again about a meeting? Again, we have to talk about it. I'm going to scroll down. And again, I hope you're doing well, Grandmaster Bobby, the village elder. When Bobby talks, you must stay quiet and listen. Okay. About the village elder aspect, I don't know. Barley has directed Potter to tank the team in order to get number one draft picks. No, that's not how you do that at Chelsea. Morning, coach. Again, morning to you too, Chelsea Blue. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. And again, Blue Blood, again, big up to you too. Cobra, big up to you. Verbal encouragement goes a long way. It does. Again, I know that if Potter is asked why he's faring such poor results, he's surely going to admit and attribute that again to spiritual problems. Okay, and not because his incompetence, really. People can be something else. Damn squid. Blue Blood, big up to you, bro. More importantly, I don't
crowd,
even think.
Tough crowd.
Yeah, I don't even think Potter knows who Kante is. Okay. He hasn't played under him really, so maybe he makes a difference for him. Potter can save Chelsea's career by signing devastating monster Osimhen. Yeah, it sounds easy. It sounds easy, but accommodating Osimhen means he changed the way he plays. If that makes sense, he's played for a long time right now. Big up, people. Hope we're all well. It's Kami. I hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you so much. Don't forget again. A good day, Kachula. Good day to you too. Morira. Yeah, it's Morira. Kevin Morira. Shakhtar's chief Mudryk isn't happy after joining Chelsea. You must be an Arsenal fan. Yeah, get me a tip where he's saying that. Just please stop saying that. Even if Potter is okay, there's no way we take a loss against Tottenham. Is it true Chelsea are interested in bringing again? What? Who lady? Tea lady? Brightest. Yeah, since we're getting everything from Brighton, we might as well do that. 60 million buyout clause. I think in totality, that's what it is. We will have to pay another 20 million for a new manager to leave a club, possibly if we want a manager again. Yeah, because all the managers probably would want. They're all engaged right now. If that makes sense. Again, Potter is used to mediocrity and mid-table. He's not used to again improving clubs to a top four. That is some argument right there. Again, in 2021, Kante destroyed the entire Madrid midfield. He alone sent Modric and Casemiro to the cave. Whenever Kante was ready, Chelsea won the trophy. And why do you think they're fighting to keep him? Why do you think? It's because it's good. But despite, again, we should include Potter in the Felix purchase. Yeah, maybe that will work. Again, coach again between again Abramovich and New Chelsea and New Chelsea owners was a Chelsea fan before becoming a Chelsea owner, but the current owners were not Chelsea fans before taking over. They are just taking business risks and not result. It doesn't matter. That is some argument against sacking Potter would be expensive, but he will be paid off in installments during the length of. Is that even possible with coaches? Sorry, coach, again, I timed out night, but I mistake. Did you really? Are you capable of doing that? Oh, you have superpower. Okay, I'm gonna time you two out. Is it triple Chelsea have to appoint new coach again now? Okay, I'm gonna move on from that to the very bottom. Again, let Potter finish again what he started. Let Chelsea go for a new coach that will start work next season. Okay, so even if it means again we get relegated, but I don't think we will. But I get your argument. A real talk. Apparently, again, they even sacked again the tea lady when they took over. A lot of sackings took place, but I'm not gonna. I don't know who they sacked and who they didn't sack, and who they did not sack, so to speak. And this one, Chelsea wanted to see Kante build a partnership with Enzo Fernandez, and are confident he will be up to top fitness when he returns. Yep, I think having gone under the knife, I'm confident there's a chance he again he's solved that problem permanently. The reoccurring issue that has kept him on the sidelines for a while now. But that's by the way. Let's start by looking again. Let's talk about the game up proper. Roger, I'll start with you head to head. Anything else you want to say about that? In the last how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. I don't know. Again, if you want to see, let's see all matches with them. Yep. And a long while, we haven't lost to them except for this one here. But from here, 0-0, we beat them 2-2 draw. We beat them 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, 2-2 draw. So for how many games in total?
Should have been 2.
We haven't lost to them in how many games? Except for this one. Where's that one there? Except for this one, yeah, 6-3. That sounds it looks like something on penalties. I don't remember EFL Cup, so possibly on penalties. But from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Around how many games? Around 12 games. We haven't lost to them. The most is a draw. But your thoughts? Does that give you confidence, or do you think these days again, when you think we'll beat the team, given again head to head, if we're looking at statistics sort of head to head, usually it doesn't reflect on the pitch.
No, it doesn't. But it could be a matter of matchups also. When some teams always have the other team's number, doesn't mean they're better than them. It's just it can be due to matchups where certain players can defend better against other players or formations, and vice versa. So that you have to take into consideration. Having said that, though, and there are some players that for some reason or another seem to only score against certain other teams. We
don't have those players anymore. We don't have players that you can say. We don't have, for instance, Marcus Alonso. You can say whenever we have a Tottenham, he scores.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Me. But I think you throw out the records right now, the previous records, I mean, because they're not relevant. This is a very much a team in transition. I mean, I never thought we would actually dive in at the deep end this transfer window and buy so many players and integrate them. You're looking at 6 players that basically, I think there were 7 or 8, but 6 that are available to play. And they're regulars, and so we've dove in at the deep end, basically. So you can throw out the records; doesn't mean anything. This is very much.
It doesn't. Even the recent form trumps that. The recent form shows we've lost again. You can say we haven't won a game in like how many matches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches, and they've won 3 out of their last how many matches? 5 matches. So
they're in form.
Given what recent forms show.
Yeah, and Son's looking good. He's looking very clinical, even coming off the bench. He looks better off the bench.
Of late, he came off the bench on 2 occasions and have scored in those two occasions. Go ahead.
He's a wonderful player. He's clinical. He's fast. Him and Kane, they have a very good understanding. They really do. I rate him highly. I mean, who doesn't, right? It's going to be a hard game. It's going to be a tough crowd, but as Bobby would say, this is 3-point lane we're going to, So, sorry.
We do have to win this one.
Okay, well, you said that last match, Coach.
No, we have to. That's what I'm saying. It's important, but it's not up to me. Saying it doesn't mean it happens. On paper, again, you can say we signed too many players, but to us again, as a Chelsea fan, it's a game that we say we have to win this one. It's a London derby.
No, sure. I get that. I get that perspective. I do. I mean, this is one of the teams I detest the most. Out of all the London rivals, that this team and Arsenal are not exactly on my Christmas card list. So, Yeah, it's a game that I would cherish. I would welcome a victory, no doubt about it.
Mhm.
No doubt, it would bring a tremendous smile to this ugly face of mine. So yeah,
So even again, the head-to-head doesn't give you confidence. We've
no,
won 18, they've
no,
won 6, and we drew 10. Yeah, it
coach,
doesn't get. Yeah.
coach, they're a team that's in current form, and to say that we're not would be an understatement. Let's be honest. But the
Mhm.
game isn't played on paper, thank God. This is where you can turn your form around, you know, and I'm hoping that will be the case this time because we do match up well with them. And then we're not talking about an average team, we're talking about a player with a striker, a true number nine that is a clinical player. He's, I think, widely regarded as a top striker, and we keep him at bay for the most part, and we generally do beat them, especially in their place, in their house. So let's see. I'm not overly confident. I'm not overly pessimistic. I'd be happy with a draw.
All
Just
right,
being
let's see what
honest.
happens. You said that again. I think I can't wait to Bobby to talk to you.
Yeah, I
But
know.
that's by the way.
He's
Again, before I go to AD,
he's
I'm gonna
gonna
catch up with
slap
what we
me
have.
hard, coach. He's
I'm
gonna
gonna go
slap me
to
hard.
again. I'm gonna catch up with what we have in the chat, and we'll look at the insights because that's important too. Again, that's when Chimera. Chimera, I want to know where you're from. Again, we should talk about Modric being again outplayed by Southampton. Southampton Walcott again. Pulisic has never looked better. Let me say that. Wow, some argument right there. Again, with the elite manager in place, Chelsea just need a midfielder and a striker to compete at the highest level. When you're saying a midfielder, specifically, what type of midfielder? Central attacking midfielder, or just wide attacking midfielder? I want to know. We have strikers. We have Lukaku, Alba, and Fofana. Can you remove the first name? Maybe I shouldn't have actually read it. Chelsea all the way, Chimera, having a laugh again. Lukaku and Alba are leaving. Fofana is 20, so we need a striker. You can specifically, I think you mean we need an experienced striker. It cannot be the same story every day talking about the lack of a striker. It's the same again. That's the problem, not the strikers. Again, the way we play isolates a striker. So why would you go to one? So again, given your argument, if you think we need a striker, and you just made a great point here. The way we play, the way Graham Potter likes to approach the game isolates a striker. So it doesn't make any sort of sense to even consider going for a striker, if you get my argument. Enyin Naya, again, is that Jeff C? How are you doing again? One day, I hope you're doing well. There is again a termination clause in Porter's deal. How do you know about that? I want to know if we didn't live again up to expectations, he will be sacked and paid again the amount attached to the termination clause. Wow. Okay. Again, Tottenham going to score a counter attack going again, and then we cannot score. His team. I don't even think it will be on a counter this time because we really again. Let's see. I don't think they will fear us that they defend deep and wait to hit us on the break. But you never say never. That's what Antonio Conte's team do. If they feel like you come at them, they give you time to come at them, and then on the break, boom. Yeah, and they have pace. Chimera, again, you have a point again, but that's not what lots of us fancy. That's why we have coach again, Richard Evans, coach. I was at the match. I was a match steward when Glenn Hoddle was manager, and at that time, Spurs won the majority of games. Again, then things started to change. After that game, I fear again it will start to change again. Ooh. Are you concerned, Roger? But that's by the way, but that's some great point from Richard Evans. Richard, I hope you're doing well. Again, on the players' heads have gone. And you can say, who do we have that really understands the magnitude of that game? You can say only Mason Mount. Will he start? Possibly, but there's no certainty he starts. Potter has shown he doesn't mind dropping him, but maybe because it's a London derby, and maybe he's on one of few players in the current squad that understand the magnitude of the game. Maybe that's the reason he starts him. I will even prefer Thiago Silva to be given the opportunity of coach again play a role at Chelsea FC due to the current results and the fact that again owners want to rebuild Chelsea FC? I don't know. Again, who would you start, Sterling or Mudryk? Yeah, his thing, and they were on the pitch at the same time, weren't they, Roger?
Yes.
They were. And actually, Sterling looks like he played better on the right hand side than he usually does on the left. But if I'm going to pick one,
2 out of 5 dribbling, coach. That's 40%.
if I'm going to pick one, I would pick Modric still.
Really?
Because I think he still do well. Sterling will still do well, but I don't see him. Even if Graham Potter picks a Sterling over Modric, it will be because probably he feels like Modric again. He needs to take it gradual with Modric, but I think
Sure.
Modric starts the next game because he didn't start the last one.
I thought
You can't-
Sterling actually changed the game. Can't
Yeah,
believe
he
I'm
did
saying
change
this.
the game. Yeah, and on
Yeah.
the right hand side, he changed the. That's the best I've seen him play for a while.
Yeah. Ditto.
Yeah. So again, but I don't think it wouldn't make any sort of sense. You'd have some explanation to do that. The club spent how much on a player, and you're benching him for who?
88 million.
Yeah, and his feet. The standards again of this club again is in the gutters. I think you have a friend in Bobby Fairview. Just you'd have a good conversation with my brother and friend there, Bobby Fairview, just to comment above yours. All of a sudden, or out of a sudden, fans aren't confident to even win a game of football, but some still think Potter is the right person. Make that make sense? Well, I'd have to consult the FBI, FSB, MI6 for them to take in. It does. Here's the thing. That's a fan base for you. Some of
What about MI5?
Oh, yeah, I don't even know that there's one called MR5.
Yeah, that's domestic.
Yeah, this one here, I look at the Tottenham form, find just put something in the chat thinking I'm going to read it. I've learned. I don't think the board will allow Potter, again, to lay mount as it doesn't fit the narrative. Really? To lay, I'm not sure.
To pay, probably.
To what?
Pay?
Play. To play.
Oh, play, yeah.
Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah, again. Oh, okay. Nightbot actually deleted the Tottenham breakdown, but I'm seeing it in the back end. But that's, by the way, so Eddie, your thoughts. But before Eddie comes in, let me get again the insights here just quickly. Roger, if you have anything to add there. Tottenham, they're ranked third in terms of goals, scored 1.8 goals per game. We're ranked 13. It's not even close. They're ranked 13 in terms of goals scored. Average, the average 1.8 goal per game. So what's the need for this one? But again, average differs from the ranking. So it makes sense to, again, point it out there. So yeah, I get it. Chelsea haven't lost to Tottenham. Yeah, but again, yeah, I get it. In their last 8 games, I get it. 5 wins and 3 draws. But what matters the most is the current form. That's how I said. They've scored 7 goals in their last 5 games. We haven't scored
2, right?
in the last 2 matches. So if you're following the statistics, not minding again head to head, I think you'd say this is a game that Chelsea wins. But Eddie, your thoughts, given the statistics, head to head, current form, however you want to see it, I want to get your thoughts. What do you think, looking at these things, what do you think happens on Sunday? If you'll have to consider factor this into your decision-making process.
Yeah, going into Sunday, on paper, they are not even on paper, statistically, they are in a better form than Chelsea.
That is, if you're looking at the insight and also recent form. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they're in a better form going into this game. And if we look, I was just looking at the last time we played them at Stamford Bridge, which ended 2-2. We had Mendy in goal. Reece, it was 3-5-2. Reece, Thiago Silva, Koulibaly as the back three, and then Loftus-Cheek, N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, Mason Mount, Cucurella as 5 across midfield, and then Kai Havertz and Raheem Sterling up front. And the game ended 2-2. Fast forward, this fixture now, no Mendy, we might not have Koulibaly, So it's a whole change in our lineup going into this game. So we don't know what we're going to have on the day. So day two will not know what to expect from Chelsea, but based on the performances they're saying, that will give them that confidence that they can beat Chelsea. But if our performance change, then maybe we can have something. But to be honest, they will smell blood. I said it earlier on. They will think, oh, Chelsea is here for the taking. Just to end this winless run against Chelsea, they will have a feeling that they would never have a better chance than Sunday to put that right. So if we look at our lineup going into this game now, we see that it's quite different from what this was under Tuchel actually, and he ended 2-2. If you remember, Romero should have been sent off, pulling Cucurella's hair. It
Yeah,
wasn't done. And they went on and they
yeah.
scored the late equalizer. You know, so that was the first leg. And that was the first meeting this season. So we wait and see what's going to happen. We're going into this game. I think we just have to be solid because don't forget they have Richarlison now. Richarlison is going to play ahead of Son. The way I think about the way it's looking because Son is off form a little bit. So Richarlison, we know what you expect, what to get from Richarlison. He will hustle, he will disturb the defense, he won't give them any break.
It looks like
You know
to
what?
him playing against Chelsea is a final for him all the time.
Exactly. He loves playing against Chelsea. I don't know why that is. And he kind of looks as he has good scoring record against Chelsea. So he'll be up for it. They don't have Bentancur in midfield. They don't have Bentancur. I think he's injured. Kulusevski is fit. I think Emerson Royal. I think they're back three. They played three on the day on the other outing. They played 3-4-2-1. That was the system they played the last time, and it might be the
It's
same
all
because it was still
always have three at the back against structure for them.
exactly. You always have three at the back, so we just wait and see. We just have to be. I don't know if we have to match them three at the back system as well, or we go with the 4-4-3, 4-2-3-1, whatever it is. So I don't know. Going into Chelsea's game these days, it doesn't give you confidence at all, and it's so sad. When no confidence, I'm not. It's more or less like you're not looking forward to seeing Chelsea play anymore. If you understand where I'm coming from, you
Mm-hmm.
don't feel that. You don't feel that joy, no excitement, thinking Chelsea is going to play. Sometimes you look at. I mean, because I'm a Chelsea fan, I don't like missing to watch Chelsea. But these days, even if I'm not around, sometimes before I used to do everything possible to make sure I watch Chelsea game. But for now, if anything takes me away from this game, I don't even bother. To be honest, I just look at it and say, well, so that's the kind of feeling that is there now with this, with the way we are doing these days. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a must win anyway. That's just the bottom line. It's a must win. We can't afford to
Yeah,
allow
from
spoil.
a Chelsea perspective.
From a Chelsea perspective, it's a must win. We just can't allow them to change the narrative to say, oh, yeah, we stopped the winless run and not under Potter. They shouldn't have. But even under Lampard, it didn't happen. They didn't win. So I don't think it should start with Potter now, giving them that undeserved victory, if you understand.
Hey, thank you so much again. I'll be going to Bobby in a bit, but let me catch up with what we have in the chat. Here's the thing. I'm gonna mute you, Eddie, if you don't mind, because we get feedback whenever someone else is talking and you're not on mute. Again, here's the thing. Given the statistics, just to answer your question, but I'm not gonna give you. Given the statistics here, the recent form plus the insight we just looked at here, the likelihood of Tottenham winning is high. But again, this is not like something static. It's not a certainty, but the likelihood of them winning, given their recent form on all the insights we've looked here, because everything trumps, again, head to head. Recent form is important. They're more likely to win it, but that doesn't mean they're certainly going to win it. That's all I can tell you. Honestly, anything beyond that, I don't think I'll be able to say anything. Again, Real Madrid has scored more goals in England than at Chelsea this season. Shambolic, okay, yeah, again, I know people took that and run away with it. I want to see again the progress. Again, trust the process. Again, play against Spurs, and let's see what happens. Again, Anthony Taylor will referee that match. I hate that referee. It's a huge concern for me. I didn't even know he was the one. He's the one that's going to be the referee. I don't know. Again, maybe that plays into the head of the players too, but we don't have too many players. A lot of players probably don't know too much about him. Unfortunately, this time Conte wouldn't have to worry about Potter trying to rip his arm off. Yeah, at full time. I understand where the argument is coming from. Potter isn't the man. Again, a lot of average says we win. Okay. Can you elaborate a bit? I'd like to get what you mean by that. Again, I think for every single team playing against Chelsea, is a final goalkeeper turns into prime Casillas, a striker turns into Messi, and the man of the match that never scored a goal against us. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Again, it is like that again, and we haven't shown. It doesn't look like we have the team again to really, you can say, play a London derby with the sort of spirit we're seeing in the era of Frank Lampard, Michael Essien, GTA Drogba, and John Terry. I haven't seen that spirit in a London derby for a while now. Again, we will need to rely on individual brilliance because we don't have any solid or tangible style of play. It ends with a draw, or Spurs will edge us by a goal. Wow. And Chelsea boy, big up to you. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Please do let me know if that goes a long way again for us again because we do care. Again, Chelsea Blue says again two main quality players for a coach like Porter. This feels like again, David Moyes. If Chelsea start winning, it will be our players saying, "Let's not get relegated." I hope he doesn't get to that, and I strongly still believe he won't get to a point where we'd be fighting for relegation, if that makes sense. This again, Tottenham used to be called a 3 points lane. Not sure. Again, not sure that's going to happen this time around. Oh yeah, don't hold your breath if you do. You're in serious trouble if that makes any sort of sense. Again, oh, no problem, Roger. Again, if you can hear again, you don't even need to tell me. This is no obligation. You're not earning anything from it. I think the most is that you enjoy being part of the whole thing. So, Bobby, if you're there, I want to get your thoughts on. Again, we've looked at the insight. Again, I want to kind of get your thoughts on the looking at the insight. Again, if we looked at the insight and plus the recent form, you'd say most likely they're going to beat us. Head to head, you'd say, oh, it's Spurs, we're going to beat them. But I want to get your thoughts, Bobby. Again, considering again being factual and being objective, considering all these factors we looked at, putting aside, yeah, you're Chelsea through and through, I know. But your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's natural. People look at form. Form is always a basis for analysis. They look at stats and they draw conclusions. Ultimately, the beauty of football is that nothing is known until you get on that pitch.
Mhm.
That's the determining factor, and that's why I started this session saying that the outcome of this game is down to Potter. I think Mr. Potter is a very and his coaching staff is a very big factor in this, even more so than the Spurs setup. Spurs already have they're there. I think they know what they want to do, and they'll set themselves up a certain way. But nobody really knows what Chelsea is going to do or how they're going to set up. Probably not even Mr. Potter himself yet. I would be disappointed if they haven't started, at least today, working on the training ground on some things.
Mhm.
But it's all going to be quite new. I hope that this game has his utmost focus. I really do. It's that important to him, his career, and to Chelsea Football Club, um, and his career at Chelsea. I think he can win. He gets it right, he wins. You know, Tottenham have a lot of very good players. We know this. We know them. I in these sort of games, I always miss people like Marcus Alonso who have gone because he's one of those players that you know he can always get you a goal or hit a screamer or something like that. And I can't see yet in this squad who can do that. Reece James, perhaps, I don't know. But it's winnable, yeah, but we've got to get our tactics right. I think it's all about the tactics because all games between Chelsea and Spurs, and in particular, are very tactical affairs, and they're also physical affairs. You have to put the big guys in to be able to deal with the physicality that they will throw at us, because that's how they feel. every club always feels one thing that they do with Chelsea, especially since the days of the likes of Lampard and Ballack and so have gone, is they
Mhm.
think we're a soft touch. So they come the physical. I mean, look at how we're talking now. Oh, Enzo and Kante in midfield would be tremendous. Yeah, if you're playing perhaps a Champions League game, don't try that in the Premier League. We've done that. Well, you can try it, but you're going to see what they're going to do. They're just going to bully you. We've done that. We did that with Fabregas. Now, having said that, I think there's a huge difference between Enzo and Fabregas, but the height is the issue, and they will use. The English game is predicated on physicality. Yes, teams are technical. Yes, there are lots of gifted players. But if you don't win the physical fight, you will always be on the back foot. Always. And one of the things I've noticed in modern times, teams come to Chelsea or face Chelsea believing they will win the physical fight. In the days when our midfield in particular had the likes of Mikel, Essien, and so on, and the names go on, Lampard, you would never be confident of winning a physical battle against those guys. And so, what teams tried to do was to be technical against them, vis-a-vis teams like Arsenal. They used to try and get to be very technical, but you couldn't do that either. And so that instilled fear. They were puzzled. How do we beat these people? I don't know. So their confidence was gone. And once you lose confidence when you're going into a big game, that's half the game lost. So yeah, somebody said that the Spurs will come in thinking, oh, these guys are for the taking. Well, that's partly why they know that the physical fight is probably going to be something they can win easily, unless we surprise them. And the best way we can do that is by pairing somebody like Zakaria and or Ruben with Enzo in midfield to start with before you start to deal with the other ends of the pitch. It's going to be quite an interesting game. I think we can do it, but Potter has to have his head screwed on tightly because Conte is a master tactician. And I'm sick of seeing Potter outsmarted. It's boring. That alone just makes me feel he should get out because it's boring. How can you let people always bitch slap you all the time on the sideline? That was too much.
Yep. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, this is again, coach. Again, I don't know if you remember when we hired Potter. I told you that I don't trust that guy. I remember you said that. Again, I have that up again, Bobby Fairview. We'll look at it in a bit. Again, coach, can you find the comparison of Potter's record at Brighton versus Chelsea and have Roger reviewed? Unfortunately, Roger isn't here right now, but we'll still look at it anyway. Again, Logitech, the formation against BVB was our best performances since Potter came here. I think, again, he's going to stick to it and put on Fafana and maybe Kovacic and Pulisic. It's Pulisic even, has he even started training? And I don't think he plays that game on Sunday, even if it's showing the training. No, I don't think it's going to play. Again, my whole family is comprised of Arsenal and sports fans. Losing to sports personnel again complicates my life. Oh yeah, again, I understand what you play. I understand, again, I sincerely do know where you're coming from. Then E, do you honestly think Spurs are scared of playing? Okay, I think you must be a Spurs fan. So that's what I'm seeing. Again, you don't score goals again, and pretty much you can offer nothing. And Spurs have a clinical number nine who's ruthless. Let's see what happens. Again, 90 minutes says it all. As much as I know statistics, again, gives you again what will be again. You can say the likely outcome, but it's not certain because it's not static. Chelsea tomorrow can come out firing on all cylinders and be a different animal altogether, if that makes sense. That's why, in terms of football, statistics isn't everything. Statistic can help you predict, and prediction isn't certainty. A prediction only can becomes again when it happens. Then you say, "Whoa, I got it correctly." if that makes it. Sorry, guys, again, I just cannot see a win. Not tactical, not tactical style of players. And the manager just seems lost. He doesn't even seem to motivate the players. If that's how you see the argument, Chelsea all the way. If results don't improve, fans will start calling Roman's name, and that will be devastating to Paulie. So he must take a note again. Things can become toxic very quickly. As much as I've always argued, they could care less what the fans think. If it gets to the extent again, we see such behavior in the stadium repeating, I think they'd be concerned because it will start affecting the players, and you won't stop selling tickets because you don't want the fans in the stadium. If that makes a sense, I don't think the players will again it will be up for it, even though it's Spurs. The players know if they win, they delay the inevitable. Okay, again, Potter is so well drilled in the fact that again that he's just a trainer that he doesn't even call his team. Again, you just lost at home to bottom again. You honestly think anyone worries about playing? And that again, I hope any again people face us. Even again, I'm reading this coming. Even though I don't think you're a Chelsea fan, correct me if I'm wrong. His thing. I hope teams again play against us with the mindset that yeah, not being afraid of us. I hope that happens. Maybe that will actually help us. Let's see what we have again. Bobby Kante is small, but no one again can mess with him. You can't muscle him off the ball and all that. So being tall doesn't mean you're strong. I think I agree with that one. We will have again the benefit of low expectation. That's a lot. That does go a long way. Again, we got touched. We got touched by West Ham and Southampton. Again, they proved how again finished we are. If anyone is hoping for a result against Spurs, get it out of your system. 1 point again. Collectors on Sunday. Let's see what happens. Chelsea Blue, coach again. I would like Kalu as a striker for us now. It's Solomon Kalu. You can imagine he was a bench player for us, but again, he showed the spirit. You could see a fight in him. Ezra said, to be honest, I'd love Chelsea to lose again, so that I don't know what to say about that. Really, I don't want my club to lose, no matter who the coach is. But again, that's how some of us deal with the situation, and that's how badly we want Graham Potter to leave the club. Coach, again, how are you doing? I'm doing well. Ghana Charleston, how are you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. And John Webb, John, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Again, what happens if we beat Spurs and play very well? Will it can all be good and Potter out forgotten? No. Here's the thing. Even the staunchest Potter out gang members, even after that game, will still be calling for him to leave. It would take. There are some that would change. That would say, oh, okay, at least again there is some hope. But no, it's not going to be. It would take again. You could say series of games, wins, chained actually in most cases. If it comes now, some people say, yeah, we've seen that before. It has to be chained. Win this one, win next one, win the following for it to convince a lot of people. If anything, more people are actually, even those that were in the Potter in camp, are actually, deflecting to the Potter out camp. But I want him to start doing well, because if he starts doing well, Chelsea will start doing well. But that's by the way, AD, I don't know, AD, have you spoken about the statistics, whether you read into it or to you it doesn't mean anything? I don't know if you've done that. If not, one more thing I want us to look at, then we'll call it a day. If you're there. AD, okay, go ahead, you're there.
Yes, I already did about the stats. Yeah, I already talked about it. But again, just to quickly add, going into Sunday's game, it depends on if the players are actually behind the manager. That will really reflect on their performance. If they really, really buy into the manager, if they believe in him, then we'll see them backing him with the performance on the day. But if they don't trust him, if there is any crack in the belief in him, then there is a big problem.
Yep, I agree with you. I don't think it would take just a game to convince a lot of people, because the performances overall have been lukewarm. It's been up and down, it's nothing consistent. So again, I hope that changes. I want him. Again, here's it. As much as I'd argue, I have lots of questions, but I wouldn't go to the extent of wishing my club lose a game. so that he gets sacked. But that's by the way. It's not easy to forget for most people. Some again, it would take something, some winning, bashing. It would take some beating of Tottenham for you to say that win alone. That would be enough for a lot of people to say, you know what, I think he's the man. We cannot beat Spurs 100% sure. Morita, a lot of people think that. I think we know again the players aren't behind Potter, but again, how could they be on again unqualified? I'm not sure. Do you understand this question, Eddie? If you understand what the question, can you help me? Okay, I don't think it's a question. I think it's a statement. It's again, yeah, it's a statement,
What's
really.
that?
No,
I
it's a
think
statement,
we
really,
know
not
the
really a
players.
question.
I mean, I always marvel at when people speak in total terms in football.
Mhm.
You can't do that. Football doesn't work like that. Nothing is certain in life to that degree. And besides, do you know the players? Have you spoken to the players about whether they are committed to him or not? People just draw these gossip founded conclusions. They might not be, but then they might be. I don't think there's any player at Chelsea right now that doesn't want to turn this thing around. I don't think so. I think they're all looking at it and trying to see how they can play their part to turn it around. Doesn't really benefit them if we're not performing well. It doesn't. Even those that want to leave the club, how does it benefit you if you're not on unless you're not on the pitch? But even then, it's a pointless, it's a pointless outlook. It really is. That is a pure rival fan outlook. It's got nothing to do with what's going on in the camp. I think that they
Yeah,
will try
yeah, but
to.
Bobby, sorry, Bobby, for interjecting. Sorry, Bobby. Well, we've seen it in the past, Bobby, that if
Yeah,
some
whether
players are not
whether
happy,
whether,
they know how to play. No, they know how not to play for the manager. We've seen it in the past. It happens in football.
Do you think
They
that's
know
the
how to
case
do it.
now,
It's not.
Eddie? Do you think
no.
that's the
We
case
don't
now?
know. That's what I said earlier, that we are not sure what is happening. If some things we are reading from the dressing room, Enzo not happy, this, which I believe, Bobby, we shouldn't go by all what they say, all what we read. Agree, but we've seen it in the past. It happens. These players, they know how to do it if they want to do it. If they're not 100, if they're not behind the manager, or greater percentage of them, it's not with the manager, then there's trouble. But
I
the good
think
thing that
I
is
think
working for this manager now is that there is no so-called senior players that can really start this, because I can't see where this might start from. These are all new bunch of players. So that is the only thing that will save it. If it was when we had the likes of, say, Lukaku in that dressing room, maybe Rudiger in that dressing room, not
so.
happy.
Why are we referring to a situation that doesn't arise? This is
Sorry,
the
say that
current
again.
situation. I mean, this is where it just becomes gossip. We're referring to a situation that arose when the dressing room was different. Now the dressing room has people that have just got here. And even the manager himself hasn't had time to really upset the players. So all this talk, I don't think it's relevant at all. I think the situation is born of the fact that the manager, who may be tactically deficient, is having to put together a whole bunch of new players with a whole bunch of players returning from injury. That is the main issue. Now, even his tactical capability is still unknown. We don't know whether he's able to do it. We don't know whether he's even suffering from a little bit of a lack of confidence, and his confidence will be boosted by a few wins. It's still up in the air, but for people to say, "Oh, the players aren't behind him," I think it's very, very naive, very premature, and very mischievous. I mean, it's just trying to put in negativity into something that, yeah, when Lukaku and co were there, yeah, there was a reason for it.
Eddie, once someone is speaking, I think you should mute your end so that again, because the feedback, it's yeah. Go ahead, Bobby, so that Eddie can come in, so we can look
Yeah,
at the statistics and call it a day.
I've landed. I just think it's nonsense. It really is. It's based on gossip, you know, concluding things are not relevant at this time. Now, may the further down the line, could the players have an issue with the manager? Of course, that's football. It happens sometimes. Maybe after a season, after a pre-season, when players find that maybe they're not foremost in his plans and so on. But now it's all too premature, way too premature.
All right, Eddie, you wanted to respond, but I think I understand from what Eddie was saying, it's possible, but Eddie doesn't think that's happening now, given that we have lots of young players. But Eddie, you go ahead. I guess before
Exactly,
I have to
exactly.
speak after
That's
you.
yeah,
I
exactly.
gathered
That's what
that
I
as
wanted
well.
to. That's exactly what I wanted to clarify. What I said was that if he gets to that point, that the players feel they don't have the confidence of the manager anymore, then we should not expect to see any improvement if they don't have the confidence. Because when we talk of it, we analyze games here, and we as fans, we think, and we from the outside, we were blaming the manager, saying, why did he sub Fofana when he was doing this well? When he was playing very well, he subbed him. He's a human being. He's in the dressing room as well. Other players will see and talk about it. If some other players are not playing well, if you're subbing them when they feel they should be playing, that causes rancor in the dressing room. They talk among themselves. They are footballers. They discuss among themselves, oh, why is he doing this to me? Why? I mean, it happens. So, but what I'm saying is, hopefully it doesn't get to that level. But for us to just dismiss it as if it can't happen or we might not see it, it's happened before, and it won't go away in football.
I
It will
tell you,
happen. It will keep
I
happening
tell you what, I tell
unless
you
the
what.
manager gets a grip of the situation correctly. And how would they do that? Let the results change, because every lineup he makes, every selection he makes, that if we do not get the result expected, they'll be blamed on his lineup, and that's why he keeps chopping and changing. And the players that are not even playing will think, oh, I should be playing. Results would have been different. So in that, when they think about that, and the only thing that will save a manager is if you make changes or you bring out your lineup, you should win. Then that silences every other player that have not been playing. But if you don't win, it gives room for this so-called rumor to fester.
Oh,
So that's
he definitely has to start winning. That is 150% clear. He has to, and it will fester more rumors. Why have the fans started turning on him? Because he hasn't been winning. And why? One of the things, he's not endearing himself to the fans. I think every Chelsea fan, from what I've been hearing, even the pundits were quite angry at his lack of use of Fofana, who seemed to be the most likely person in that game against Southampton. So it won't even be Fofana getting upset with him. It will be the fan base getting upset with him for Fofana. So he has to justify not playing him. And the only way he can justify that, if he's going to go down that road, is by winning. So, yeah, you're right. I totally agree that, the rumors and the negativity will only gather pace the more he doesn't win. And that's partly why they met yesterday, because I'm sure Vival and the like will be acutely aware of that.
All right,
Moving,
let me catch up with what we have in the chat. We'll look at that statistic again. The Bobby Fairview decided we'll look at again. This again, they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. Look at the body language before the start of the game. Again, the body language. What I make of it is that they don't look like you don't see that again. What you see from players, you say they're raring to go. I think that's an argument, and you could also there's a solid argument that maybe the players don't trust the manager. You can say which brings us to Bobby Fairview's argument. But I get everybody, we're all entitled to our opinion. Again, I have a sick feeling we will be
they must be
embarrassed.
doubting him right now, coach. There must be some doubt creeping into their minds, of course.
Yeah. I have again a sick feeling we will be embarrassed. And again, teams will have a Europe on their mind again the following week. Again, hate the thoughts of sports fans are taunt. But again, we are again bearing up miracles again 1967. I don't remember that period or anything that happened in that period. But that's fine. Again, let's move on. I'm gonna try to read anything personal here. You guys again should see the training videos. Players look so disinterested. Players, player power has already started trouble in paradise. I wouldn't say player power. I think that again that era has gone. Let's see, Richard Advance going second. Some of these players don't have the patience to wait for him to make more mistakes. It's simple, they know early again it doesn't take a season. Can Anthony Taylor receive the brown envelopes? VAR will be unplugged, and the FA already have the apology already. Have they really actually ever apologized to us? I don't think they've. Man shots and all that again. Let's see what we have. There's something in the milk and clean out Chelsea. Maybe that's the way to put it. It's not that again. He's not winning. He's again erratic with team selection. The fans see it, and you were telling me the players don't see. I think they see it more than we do. Yes, then the players will be the first to to not trust the manager, and the fact that the manager is the manager, when it comes to training, when he tells the player do this, do that, that can actually mask the fact that they don't trust him. If you don't trust the manager, you don't come to training and say, I'm not going to do this. You set in the ground to lose your job with the club saying you refuse to do your job and you owe the club money. They'll fire you because players can be fired. So I get it. Again, I know people come out and say that the training ground, some say again, it shows harmony, shows they're together. Nah, I don't think so. Players can still not trust the manager, still show up to training and do whatever the manager wants them to do. Match day, again, atmosphere is a difference in it together, if that makes sense. Again, it's not, again, he's not winning. Again, I think I've read that. Again, Potter has to win. Again, the fans are fed up. That's just the truth. At least majority of the fans are. Potter isn't the man for Chelsea. He is not going to coach. He's not a top coach and lacks the personality. You could argue that. And Adebayo, more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Please do let me know. Let's see what we have. Again, what are the qualities of a top manager? Adebayo, I think that question for you. I'll be glad to read it if you can respond. Again, and the difference between them and a mid-table manager. You go ahead, Kashan. Maybe you want to bring that up again, and I want to. I want to read it. And Eugene Naughty, let me say this quickly. You know quite well that there's no chance we get Mbappe. So yeah, trust you. Do I think Mbappe would do well at Chelsea? Yes. Do I think we're capable of we can get him? No. It's probably easier for you to go ask them if PSG is for sale than asking them if they want to send him. But coach, would you take Pochettino? It's difficult to say. The argument again, the thought that the fact that he's been at Tottenham, got to a championship final, lost it, got to multiple cup finals and lost it, and lost them all. I didn't think he win any. It's questionable, but the fact is you can argue with what players did he make it to the Champions League finals? With what players did he get to those finals in question? The owner, what's his name, Daniel Levy, they spend much under him. And then if you bring again the question, how about PSG? He had all those stars. What was he able to do? I don't know. So I don't have enough. Again, I haven't done enough research to say again the reason I think maybe he struggled at PSG. I don't know. Again, so I wouldn't say I would take him, but for the fact that he's good at working with young players, I would take him. And that's the only reason why I would consider him. That there's still a lot to consider, really. Kepa James, Chiwabade, Shile, Mudrik in your starting 11 against Spurs. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Felix Mudrik, Havertz, Sterling, Silva, Angel. Maybe that's what we'll see. Pochettino is best option to try with not short term. I think he would take a long term. Maybe young players. He does well with young players. Maybe not with big name players because he demands a lot. Maybe that's the reason why he struggled as PSG. I don't have again enough. Again, I haven't done enough research to answer that. You could say to answer that question. Well, if we would take apart again, he told us he doesn't work in this structure. Did he really say that? Really? And he ain't even elite. Do you think did he really say that? To be fair, again, Poch is good at working with young players. Yep, that's the truth again. But according to the media, he turned us down. There's no way to confirm that. Short contract, it can be extended. Yep, that's the truth. When will Kante be back? I'm not sure when he's going to be fully ready to participate in the game. If he worked good, Pep, Ancelotti, and Jose are definitions of top managers, top tier technical and tactical acumen, and again, and history of winning, blended with a persona again to match of winning again, and not even it doesn't have to be pretty for them to win. That's a good sign of a tactical manager, of a good tactician. It doesn't have to be pretty. They find a way to win even when the team play bad. But here's a statistic I want us to look at. And Bobby, again, the title shows you again how badly we've done of late. The title here says again, I don't know who wrote that. Joshua Jones, I
What's
don't
that?
know him. But before
Sorry,
I
I
do
can't
that,
see it very well. What's it say?
yeah, I'll read it out for you, and I'll zoom out again. This one says again that we are soft touch again, and it's very irritating. We aren't direct, and the free flowing forwards are simply again unsuited for the Premier League. So you can say so passive, too passive, and our behavior off the ball is the most concerning for me because our behavior off the ball shows again nearly every team can beat us, really, if we're being honest. So, Bobby, here's the thing. Here's what it says. Not so magic touch. Again, they're talking again, making a mockery of Graham Potter. Graham Potter has turned Chelsea into Brighton, as stats show. Again, almost identical record as Stamford Bridge and the Amex. Just quickly, I'm going to read in a round of what we have in the chat. So let's look at that statistics in question. I think that's an interesting picture here. Look at it, Bob. It's really concerning if we're being honest. It is seriously concerning. Chelsea 22-23, Brighton 21-22, 23 games apiece again for each club. At the time this was made, 8 wins, 7 wins. At Chelsea he won more. Draws he drew 12 at Brighton. At Chelsea he drew less games. Defeats of 4 defeats at Chelsea, 8 defeats, even worse at Chelsea. Goals for 25 at Brighton, at Chelsea 23, even worse at Chelsea. Goals against 23 at Brighton, 23 at Chelsea, even you can say even points again even better again worse at Chelsea, 31 points and 33 at Brighton. Position 10th at Chelsea, 9th at Brighton. So it doesn't differ that much. I know some people will bring up the argument. Yeah, he has again lots of injuries, new players, and all that. But again, my argument has always been, no matter again what you consider, the fact remains we should be doing better than we're doing under Graham Potter. So, Bobby, your thoughts on that? You could say heartbreaking statistics, really.
Yeah, what can we say? He has to win. Just like Addy pointed out. The more this goes on, the more the negativity will pile up on him. Every negative stat or every negative performance or comparison will be laid at the doorsteps of the club. He's not showing any improvement in terms of performance output from where he was at Brighton, even if he's with a sort of better set of players. Um, I, I'm lost for words. That's why I say Saturday is all about him and his training staff. They have to come up with a way of winning. It's as simple as that. And if he doesn't, it won't get any better at all.
Yeah, it won't get any better, and this is concerning. I'm sure the club hierarchy, Vivar himself, have also looked at the statistics. It's worrying. It's we're Chelsea. I get it. Lots of new players, lots of players were out injured, but we should be doing better than this. That's will always that argument will always come up. I'll get again AD's thoughts on this statistic. Then after that, I'll round up with again after getting what we have in the chat. Eddie, your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree totally with what Bobby said. It's just exactly what I wanted to say. Only just to add that the new manager they got to Brighton is even doing better than Potter. That is even been linked with other European teams now. So it tells you that I don't know how they got they arrived at the conclusion of getting Potter in the first place. I just hope it works out for him. To be honest, chopping and changing manager is not something that is good for us or for a football club. But it doesn't look as if he's getting it right at all. And if this continues, I mean, it'll be painful, very painful, because he needs to just turn it around and turn it around quickly. But his charisma, his demeanor, and everything does not actually match up to or to show that he has what it takes to actually change this. His interviews, everything does not rhyme at all. It does not come together to show that somebody who is confident. There are certain times if you lose a football match, the way you come out and talk will even show, will know that yes, you're actually speaking, and then this will get down to the players to know that, oh, this is what our coach is actually saying. It's not what comes out of him from after post-match interviews, and then he doesn't. They just look at this and say, oh, that's if our coach is saying this, then we're okay. Then I mean, sometimes somebody makes makes the wrong choice of pass. You see managers jumping on the touchline and showing their frustration and telling you straight. He doesn't do all that, and so they just feel complacent like that. Oh, it's okay to just do this, but I mean, he needs to turn it around quickly. The start is not good at all. It's just like somebody just
And
changing.
that's especially true when you're dealing with lots of young players.
Exactly. You need to show leadership. I mean, you need to let the players know their role. Like Mourinho. Mourinho will tell the young players what he expects from them. Oh, I need you to be here. I need you to do this, and he'll keep hammering it into your ears until you fall in line with what he wants. You teach them, you coach them, and you let them know what you do from the training ground. You take it on to the match on the match days, and you exhibit that properly to the letter. I mean, Mourinho doesn't joke with all that. I mean, if you tend to think if a player is not doing well, and this brings me back again to Chukwuemeka again. Why has that boy not been featuring? I don't get it. I really don't. Is it that bad that he cannot even get games? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest.
This
Yeah,
adds
again.
to the criticism that I certainly have of Potter.
Mhm.
One of the reasons he was brought to Chelsea was he was meant to be this guy that could get a tune out of youngsters and use them and get them into the first team. So far, he's shown a reluctance. If anything, all he keeps doing is going back to reputations. And that really disappoints me. It really, really disappoints me. Um, uh, Chukwemeka is somebody that I don't understand why he's not getting more opportunities. There's been plenty of scope for that. Certainly against um, Southampton, if not even Dortmund. And if he's not doing what you want him to do, then what the hell is going on in training? Because that's where you get players to do what you want them to do. I mean, I'm baffled as well. I don't understand it. He came on against Liverpool and was a little bit flat footed, made a couple of mistakes. Is that why suddenly you banish him? Unless he has an attitude problem or something we don't know about. I'm with you there. I'm completely baffled. I can't see the logic behind that at all. Give that not even 10 minutes. He doesn't come on at all, and we have 5 substitutions. Bizarre.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But we'll move on for that. I want to say thank you to Bobby and Eddie. I'm going to get what we have in the chat and then we call it a day. It's been an excellent show. Again, lots of good arguments and contributions. Again, as I have been saying all along, no elite manager will work in this structure. It doesn't succeed at all. Winning clubs. Okay, again, Coach, again, I bet you read a story set to your kids, mate. Again, you fly through these comments. Well done. Thank you, Richard Advance. I appreciate that. I think I've gotten used to it with time. Again, even though I think, okay, I have a system in place that if it gets too much, I'll use that system again to pick help me randomly pick comments what that are questions. Those again stats are actually crazy now compared to again amount of money spent by both those teams. Yeah, actually that's when you get pieced even more. Again, it's kindly correctly remind me later. I think you need more power. I need to give you more power so you can help again control things. So if any more gets out of line, you can help again. I'll bring them. But big up. More importantly, I know you're probably at work or resting. I forgot your schedule. But more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Congratulations to Barley for reaching his target of turning us into Brighton. I think that's what it is actually. Again, but it's heartbreaking I hope it turns things around. There are there's again a difference. There's a difference between a manager securing a Premier League place and managing a top six club. That's a solid argument. Again, for those of you, again, your heads again in the relegation sides, again, adjust the table for Titi's point and tell me where we are seated. Again, it's concerning if we're being honest. I don't think be able to get everything. I'm late. I have to go take care of something. World class again players with potential. World class players together on the world class coach again. Then we can talk about the trophies. You just again clear the air. White Potter is really again an average team coach. Again, with your statistics, he will not take Chelsea anywhere for the next 3 years. Wow. Nathaniel, more importantly, Obosi, I hope you're doing well. Do let me know. Can you smell what Potter is cooking? Oops, it looks like he's burnt down the house. Maybe we may end up getting the new Brighton manager. I don't think you're gonna do that with Brighton again. I don't. Why not get like what was that brother in the chat that said he's hearing we're trying to hire their tea lady. For those of you with your heads in the league, I think I've read that too. Potter and his crew don't know what it means to win. Again, winning is a mentality. There's a reason why Roman always employ the coaches with CVs of winning. You cannot give what you don't have. Maybe their plan, maybe they see him again as a manager who has potential. I don't know. I have a lot of questions, but as long as he's here, I'll support him because if I want him out, if I come out again swinging Potter out, it doesn't change anything. But Adebayo, I hope I've asked you how you're doing. Please do let me know how you're doing. I don't think any coach wants this job again. Forget Zidane, Poch, and Flick. Big Sam would turn us down. Oh, I think Big Sam would jump at it. I really think Potter is coaching into the owner's instructions simply. Again, he is a yes man. You could argue that. It's all about confidence. Potter lacks the power to really teach and coach this young players. Here's the thing, in terms of teaching and coaching, I think he's good at that. But the thing is, let me say, there's a difference between being a good coach and a good tactician. And I think tactics is where he really lacks, if that makes any sort of sense. He may be able to do so in an average positional club where pressure and not winning is tolerated. A good argument right there. Potter, Roger, again, are you a season ticket holder? Roger isn't actually here. I think Bobby actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he walks at the bridge and probably always sometimes again he has access to the bridge and sometimes it's available during games and all that. Roger, I don't think there's a ticket. It's a season ticket holder, but I think DJ Savi DJ isn't here today, probably at work. Him and his dad are season ticket holders. Again, Kachula, if Spurs scores first goal, we're doomed. Oh, yeah, you know that. Because we'll be all out to equalize, and that is what they want to see. So with that, again, people will come to the natural end of the show. I want to say thank you to my brother Bobby and my brother AD Love for Blue. Again, a big up AD. Again, that stuff I think most definitely watch him today. I hope I'd have time to do so because I really I don't want to like glance through it. I want to take my time to watch it all through. And you know why. Again, one of us. Again, take care, you two. Again, it's Kami, big up to you. And if you're watching Liam Lane, wherever you are, get well soon. I'll continue praying for you. Again, Haram, again, how are you doing? Again, Kachila, again, I hope you're doing well. Bobby Fairview and JC, I hope you're doing well. Chimera, I hope you're doing well. Adebayo, I hope you're doing well. Again, John Wab, everyone else, again, that was in the chat but has left cover. Apologies if I did not say your name. I'm only human. With that, we've come to the end of the show. See you guys again tomorrow. And more importantly, we wanted to start the new show yesterday. We couldn't because there was a Champions League game. And today, again, I don't think we can because there's also a Champions League game. Except if we're going to start it earlier, but we'll figure out. Whatever happens, if it doesn't premiere today, then it will be probably tomorrow. There will be no Champions League game. So again, thank you so much, guys. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Bye.